It's Dan Arthur here for the I Love St. Pete Facebook group. If you're a business owner looking to connect with tens of thousands of potential new local customers, you owe it to yourself to get enrolled in our Key Tag Rewards program. Since 2019, we've signed up more than 200 local merchants. Sponsor opportunities are available too, such as our group banner ad and even your own custom key tags. Just go to stpetekeytag.com, get enrolled, and get ready to get busy. stpetekeytag.com.
Come to Sam Ash for hundreds of exclusive holiday deals on music and sound gear from the most iconic brands. Save big on professional and starter guitars, drums, digital pianos, horns, violins, DJ, and electronic production equipment. Supercharge your home studio with deals on podcasting, streaming, and AV equipment like speakers, microphones, headphones, and acoustic treatment. Plus, with 36 months no-interest financing on thousands of items, you can get the gear of your dreams right now. From our incredible selection and service to our lowest price guarantee for over 95 years, real musicians know you only go to Sam Ash.
BetUS.com. If you guys are betting on the games, whether it's NFL, NCAA, of course, you're not going to do that now. Maybe basketball, not football, but of course, the NHL, NBA, go to BetUS.com. You get a 125% sign-up bonus. And also, if you use this code right here, the promo code of TSW22, which, by the way, stands for the sports web, TSW22, or call that number 1-800-69-BET-US. Again, 1-800-69-BET-US, and put in that promo code TSW22, and I would really appreciate that.
I've had 27 beers spilled on me. Make that 28.
I've only got one place to go before the game.
BetUS.com.
Sign up at BetUS.com and get the best bonuses in the industry.
Hey everyone, I'm Reagan Weiss along with
Joey Deeb, co-founders
of The Hub.
I'd just like to start off by prefacing this by saying it's not just us. It's all of our core members of this group that made this. We have a lot of people that have worked hard, put their blood, sweat, and tears into this. Can't mention all of them because there's so many, but we love you all.
Yeah, I can't thank you enough for every single one of you, and you know who you are, to be involved with this. And a lot of people are asking, why The Hub? Let me tell you why The Hub. The Hub is a place that not just business owners are going to collaborate. It's where our community members are going to collaborate, where ideas are bounced off of one another. We just want to help people. We want to be there. We want to unify not just our businesses, but we want to unify our community. We don't want to hear about the negativity. We don't want to hear. There are so many other places out there that you can hear about the negativity in our community, and this will not be the place.
Our group can be a basis for so many different resources for so many different trades and industries. It's not just isolated to one specific trade or construction or cleaning or any of that. Everybody can come to the Hub to get actual references from real people using these business and utilizing them to see what kind of experiences they've had.
Now, the key word is collaboration, right? And you see that a lot lately, like collaboration. Well, it really is about collaboration. If I didn't know to collaborate with my friends behind the camera, Jordan Long, if I didn't know how to collaborate with all these other people, all these individuals involved, you wouldn't know about us because of those people. Strength are in numbers. So just like Joey said, it's every industry. We want to hear from how your experiences were with your restaurants. We want to hear your cleaning people, your contractors, your roofing companies. I mean, every industry out there, your masseuses, your salon. We want to hear real experiences from real people. And one more thing, very, very important, we're not going to allow networking. When we say networking, I just want to be very specific on this. And people say, oh, well, you're kind of pushing people away. No, we're not, because there are specific network groups that post and tag people without ever utilizing their business. And we don't want that. We want real experiences.
You're not forced to recommend somebody simply because you're in the same group.
Right.
And that's what we want. And it's not just about business either.
Right.
It's about charity and giving. We want a local hub for events to help people.
We appreciate you. We love you. We thank you. Look for Hub ads on the radio. Look for the Hub bus on the Pasco County Public Transportation System. Look in Facebook and please share this, and let's grow this positive thinking, forward momentum community. We love you, Tampa Bay.
Join the Hub and grow with us.
See you soon.
Merry Christmas. Say, I love football. Say this. Say Tampa. Bay. Bay. Tampa. Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay. Say Tampa.
Tampa
Bay. Bay. Oh my God, she's so smart and she's so precious. I love her to death.
Yeah, every year presents different challenges, and you have to keep the cap in mind, obviously, that we're all up against. You don't want to mortgage too much of the future, and you want to remain competitive as long as you can. So I think ideally we'd like to keep the core players that we have, the very good players that we have, and they're all very good. And I don't want to name players because I don't want to leave any out, because they're all in one way, shape, or form a priority. But you want to try to keep as many as you can, and you want to keep the pipeline coming from the players that we already have and give them opportunities. So, one door closes, another one opens. And so we feel like we have some players that could surprise some people next year if they're given the opportunity.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another edition of the evolution of Sports Talk Television here live on the Hub, and I love St. Pete. It's the Sports Web. I'm your host, Peter Blake, giving you something to think about. And how do we start it off on this Tuesday special edition? Because I kind of hate Tuesdays. I got to be honest with you. I completely cannot stand Tuesdays. At the first job for some reason, just in general, you go Monday and Wednesday, you have that hump day, and then it seems like the rest of the week goes fast. But we're here on a Tuesday. The reason why is I'm going to be covering with AMP Sports, of course, being on AMP Sports now with Leo Haggerty, out at USF women's basketball tomorrow night. So we'll have a post-game recap. Watch for that. On Thursday night, we'll have USF men's basketball. And then Friday night, we'll be out at the Tampa Bay Lightning game versus the Detroit Red Wings. So keep on watching the Sports Web, like and subscribe, and do three things how we start off this show. Bring your passion, bring your excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense. Once again, I'm your host, Peter Blake, giving you something to think about. Tonight's show, we will have Mr. Denis Phillips of ABC Action News coming on with us, talking about a lot of things to unpack if you're a Bucs fan. And we started out with that. We're going to go back out. Well, we'll get out to Jason Lyon and BA with some of the comments, because I told you that this was going to be a busy week when it comes to Bucs news. Now, what do we take out of all of that? That's up to you. You make the assumption at this point. I'm going to report it. I'll give you my opinion, and I'll allow you to have an opinion at this point. Definitely get on the phone line, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Of course, the last couple days, we've had all kinds of news when it comes down to this team, whether it's Ali Marpette retiring. What do you think about that situation? You can talk about it if you like. I would be open to it, because listening to the presser today, it certainly seems like at the end of the day, it's going to be a big time need that they're going to have to address, and it may change their free agency focus. I'm curious to see who comes back, because there's a lot of decisions that need to be made with this team going forward. Lots of decisions. I will give you some good news. According to Pewter Report and their fine reporting team over there, JPP looks like he wants to play another year. Ndamukong Suh looks like he wants to play another year. And oh, by the way, let me drop this bombshell. Rob Gronkowski has been working out at the facility twice a week. So, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, judge for yourself. Does that sound like somebody who wants to retire? We shall see. Again, the sky's not falling. Everything is going to be okay. And of course, we'll take your phone calls. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get out to this guy right here. Already making appearances on his show on Facebook Live, the superstar himself. ABC Action News is Denis Phillips. Here we go. All right, that's enough of that. Denis Phillips, welcome to the evolution of Sports Talk Television, my friend. And first and foremost, we had breaking news on Sunday afternoon. Here, I'm thinking I'm getting a day off. I'm relaxing, and then bam, here comes Greg Auman and Rick Stroud saying Ali Marpette is retiring at 28 years old. Your thoughts? Welcome to the evolution.
I haven't really, by the way, how you doing, Peter? I haven't really heard a lot about it other than he retired. Did he give any reasons?
Right. I mean, well, the reasons are, there has been no reasons at this point. His father commented to Rick Stroud that it's not health related, but you would have to think that there is something to that. I mean, just 2 years ago, you have concussion protocol, you have a serious concussion. The way the NFL is these days, he's collected a lot of money, but you look inside the numbers. According to Warren Sharp of Sharp Football, he has given up 1 sack in 2 years of protecting Tom Brady. Those rest of the time, 43 sacks total by that Bucs offensive line. So a major loss all around the place. Thankfully, the Bucs get some salary cap relief because they're not on the hook for $10 million. But there has been no reasoning. He just retired, and it seems like, look, you know what? I made my money. I was the best at my position. I made the Pro Bowl, and now I'm going to go out on top.
Yeah, and, there are those who, a lot of professional athletes who, they don't want to be in their middle to later ages in their life where they're limping around all the time or they're hurting all the time to get out of bed and anything else. 29 years old, you just figure maybe he's got other things in mind. Maybe he's got enough money for a comfortable living, and maybe there's some business opportunities with his family or whatever the case may be. But you know what? There's a lot of research that says once players get into their 30s, if they're still playing, that can really lead to long-term impacts. I'm sure you've read about the long-term impacts, the average life expectancy for an NFL player compared to other people. Hey, more power to him. If he can get out, have his money, and provide for his family for the rest of his life, good on him.
Yeah, good on him, Denis. And, I think you're going to see a lot more of this, especially with players taking care of their money. That's not to say every player is going to do that. Of course, we've heard stories of athletes going broke, but this man is taking care of his money. He's reached the pinnacle. He came from Division III, Hobart, second-round pick. In your opinion, how much of a loss is this to that Bucs offensive line? And then on top of it, does it shift their focus to, possibly, and I threw it out there, losing a Carlton Davis so you can secure this offensive line, namely a Ryan Jensen, an Alex Kappa, or an Aaron Stenny?
Yeah, it's going to require a lot of magic from the upper management to find a way through this. My forte is not that part of as a fan, because that's really all of us are. Whether it's Peter or anybody else out there. It always makes me laugh whenever I'll talk about weather and I'll talk about sports sometime on social media. And of course, you always hear the stay in your lane. What do you know about sports? Well, you know what? What do you know about sports?
Right.
And I'm not talking to you, Peter. I'm talking about everybody, because 99. Is there a special training for sports? No. No, there's a broadcasting deal if you want to go through broadcast, but 99.9% of us, we live it growing up. We've lived it all our lives, and that makes us the experts that we are.
Right.
And being an avid football and baseball and sports fan in general, if you follow something for 40, 50, or 60 years, you're probably going to get a little knowledgeable about it. But I will tell you, in terms of how they put together a line or how they put together a salary cap, that's never been my forte. And I will leave that to you and all the other experts who maybe have their finger on the pulse a little bit better. I'm more about what actually happens on the field. And as opposed, and you know me, whenever people start talking about oh, well, what do you think someone's going to go? Or where's this going to go? I don't know, and neither do you. So we can talk about it till we're blue in the face, but nobody knows. Now Aaron Rodgers are coming out and saying nobody wants to trade for Aaron Rodgers. They're not getting any good trade offers. I mean, do you really? Here's my take. If you hear it in the media, if you hear these in the media, these kind of comments, it's probably been put there by agents or by players or by somebody else because they have a motivation. They're trying to get information out there. Rarely do you get a scoop. I mean, Adam Schefter, I think, is probably one of the exceptions to the rule where he's got his finger on the pulse of people that aren't mainstream media. And he actually knows a lot of times what's going on behind the scenes. Baseball, there's some other guys as well. But I don't know, me and you, I don't know, maybe you, but not me.
Hey, yeah, absolutely you. And we can talk blue in the face here on the Sports Web because, look, we got to take up some time. And we also got to entertain the people because you just mentioned baseball, and I know I'm kind of jumping around here, but your thoughts on baseball. I know how passionate you are about the Rays and the game itself. I mean, are you really surprised that now we're going towards a lockout and you're going to miss the first couple of weeks, the first couple of series? And how long do you think this can go? I mean, this is such a terrible optic right now with everything that's going on. It's like millionaires fighting billionaires. And I get it. There's all kinds of issues. But at the end of the day, the people want to see their baseball. Make some sense of this.
Well, I mean, first of all, I had my Rays sweatshirt on, but I took it off in protest. So I had my rule number 7 sweatshirt on instead.
I see that. I mean, are you one of those fans that says, you know what, the longer they do this, I'm just going to turn off baseball altogether? Or is that just something everybody says on the sports talk show to get everybody's attention and it really never happens? I think it really never happens.
I think there's a handful of people who get, literally a handful of people who get fed up because at the end of the day, in the summertime, if we're just talking about baseball, there's not a lot to do out in the summer in terms of the sporting world. You've got your USFL, I guess it's going to be it's going in late spring. But I think baseball is just one of those traditional things that a lot of folks have grown up with. And here they're talking all about, well, there's 2 series are going to be canceled. These guys are negotiating things that are going to be going on for years and years to come. So do they really care if they're going to play 156 instead of 162 or 154 instead of 162 or 140 instead of 162? They don't, because at the end of and this was a hard thing for me to accept. And I hate saying this because I am a true baseball guy. I'm the guy who believes in the purity of the sport from decades and decades ago. But a lot of times it came back to me talking with Rays people, with a lot of the sabermetric guys who typically guys who are sabermetrics, and the fans of that stuff, they're not as, it isn't a heart thing with them. It's all about the numbers. And my point is, it's a business. And I hate to say that. I really do. I hate to say that as a fan, someone who dies when my team fails in the playoffs or whatever the case may be. But at the end of the day, to these ball players and to this management, it is their livelihood and it is a business. And we can complain and moan about our favorite players being traded away or being wooed away from your loyalty from a team because of the money. But at the end of the day, that's what it is. And I love the game. I love what it does. I love the memories of, going to games with your parents and whatnot and throughout the years. But these guys, it's their business and they're going to get the most they can out of it because this CBA is probably going to last 7 to 10 years, maybe longer. And they want to get every penny that they can for themselves until it's remedied. So, I don't blame them as I've gotten older.
Sure.
Why would I blame somebody trying to get the most for their livelihood? And then you got people, well, they're all millionaires. It's true, but maybe it isn't always about the superstars. Maybe they're also trying to get money, the base salary for the guys maybe who aren't superstars and are trying to provide for their families as well. So it makes me sad that it's a business, but it is a business, and I've learned that over the years. And they're gonna, they're not gonna scrub the season. They'll probably, it's just like when you go and negotiate a car. You go into a car dealership and you hate dealing with car dealers.
I absolutely hate it because I want to go in, I want to buy the car for the price that I want. But guess what? You have to negotiate. You have to take it for a test drive. You have to fill it out, and then you have to get turned down because you have bad credit, like I do. And then you have to, you look at something else. I mean, that's what I hate. But you turn.
My dad used to walk out of the place 3 times before he'd come back in and buying a car, So it's just kind of the negotiation process. And because everything is so magnified, every little thing and all the sources and all the leaks and whatnot are out there, it becomes changing every few seconds. But at the end of the day, they're negotiating. One wants this, one wants this. They're going to end up in the middle, just like any other negotiation we've all been a part of. And how fast that happens really depends on how fast the owners and the players want it to happen. I don't think it'll kill them if they lose a month of the season, because they're negotiating. I'm not saying that's the case, but I'm just saying and by the way, I think most of the fans, maybe not all of them, but almost all the fans will still be back, especially if your team's in a pennant chase. They want to get something done that's going to last for a long time.
Exactly. We're on with Denis Phillips right now, being all business, but telling us about the business of baseball and sports in general. It's the Sports Web. I'm your host, Peter Blake, giving you something to think about. And sometimes you really do have to take that, that emotional attachment out of it at the end of the day, because we're Rays fans, we're baseball fans, and we're sports fans, but it is about business. And I understand that. But for the life of me, if you know these issues and they're coming years, how can you not get them done earlier? Why does it have to come down to the brass tacks, to the very final deadline? And then you have a commissioner who just looks like basically an idiot, coming out there and doesn't want to do that. Yeah, you did want to do it, because if you wanted to do better, you would have got this deal negotiated a lot better.
Yeah, but Peter, think about it. How many times did you have a test and you waited until the last night and the last minute to study for that test? Or how many people wait until April 14th to do their taxes? It's human nature to just wait. It just is. And not for everybody. There's some people who are really organized. I'm not one of them. I always wait till the last minute for everything. I just think it's kind of human nature. And by the way, you were talking about, how it's just a business.
Yeah.
The Rays are a perfect example of that team. They'll break your heart because there's absolutely no loyalty to an individual player. My dog is named Longo. I mean, and when they let go of Longo because they didn't want to pay him anymore, the same thing that they've done to so many of their players, it breaks my heart. Now, I will tell you, it's just my opinion, and this is where I got into it with a lot of the sabermetric dudes. Look, I think to build loyalty, this is just my opinion, but to build loyalty to a team, I think you have to have faces to that team. I don't think it's all about wins and losses. I really don't. This is just my opinion. But I think as you're growing up, you have 1 or 2 players or however many players that you idolize. And I know players don't want to be idolized and they're not role models and all that other nonsense, whatever. It's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the fact that you have a player or 2 that you wear on your back and that you have pinned up in your room, and all these things that you love these guys. And Longo was my kids, 3 of my kids, players like that. And the problem with what the Rays do, yes, I think it makes sense for them for W's and L's. Mm-hmm. It makes sense for them, for the general managers, for the upper management to try to keep their jobs. And how do they keep their jobs? They do it by winning, because it's certainly not it's not translating into fan attendance. But to me, I think those names, those players, when you're building a franchise and you're trying to build loyalty, I think it starts more so with W's and L's. I think it starts with players that leave a legacy for a team. And the Rays will never have that kind of a player as long as Stu Sternberg owns this team and runs this team the way that it is run. Because whether they can afford to pay it, I get it. I don't. I mean, I don't certainly understand their X's and O's and in terms of what they have to pay. But from the simplest way to look at it, to me, you will never have the kind of loyalty that some of those other, because think about Yankee fans. They bring up names. They don't bring up years that they won a series. There are so many you can't keep track of them. I get it. But they bring up names. The Rays don't have those names because they don't keep those players. And to me, that's the biggest part about difficulty about being a Rays fan. Look, not every year, but many years they're competitive with a lot of no-name players, and you respect the heck out of the way that they do that. No doubt. The way that they do it does give them a better opportunity for wins and L's. But does it increase their fan base? They believe that there will be more fans of this team by getting more wins than losses. Pittsburgh Pirate fans might agree with them. But I believe that you got to have some names to build that longevity and that legacy. And I just think that's something the Rays have never done. And until they get the ability or have the ownership that they're willing to pay long-term, we got Wander Franco for 11 years. But do you really think they're going to keep Wander Franco for 11 years?
No, not at all. I don't. You know why? Because that's the tendency of this team, and that's the difference between the Tampa Bay Lightning and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, especially the Lightning. Steven Stamkos, Nikita Kucherov, Braden Point, they keep their own. Andre Vasilevsky, and fans can identify with them, and the ownership has endeared himself to the fan base. This is why I always go on this whole tangent and rant about, fans not showing up for the Rays. Well, you don't have any fan favorites. You don't know who's going to be there the next year. And yeah, Wander Franco is signed up for 11 years, but more than likely that contract will last probably 5 or 6. And once his value goes up or it's at the maximum ability, they're going to trade him off
for some pitching and prospects.
And that is what baseball fans don't understand, especially a Tampa Bay sports fan, because you already have to deal with the transients here with Yankee and Red Sox, and now you're getting rid of fan favorites. That's the reason why you don't have fans with the Rays. So with that being said, I got to go out to these comments. I'll keep you on screen here. We'll try something a little bit different here. This was Jason Light talking about Tom Brady today at the presser at the combine. Here we go.
No, I think with a Tom Brady, I personally never want to completely close the door. Now, I don't have any information that suggests that he is going to come back. I mean, I'm very good friends with him. We talk. We haven't talked about that. I don't want to apply any pressure, but in that regard right now. But he's he's Tom Brady. If a Tom Brady wants to come back, we'd welcome him back. It just depends. We have a little time here before free agency hits. Depends on what we do in free agency. I'm not saying that we're by any means we're planning on this happening. I just made a remark this morning that we'll leave the light on for him.
Well, you went all Motel 6 on us with I'll leave the light on for him. So he doesn't have, I don't know what he could say about it, but a lot of people, kind of raised their eyebrows a little bit and said, well, maybe all this talk about Blaine Gabbert and Kyle Trask, they're not trying to go after a top quarterback possibly because they're still holding out hope for Brady. I know I keep on asking you every week, and I feel like I do this on purpose to see if there's any emotions that have changed. Do you think there's still a possibility that Tom Brady plays? Or, as NBA said today, and I'll look at this, every time I met with him during the 2021 season, he felt fantastic. He also said the way he was playing, I had myself convinced he was coming back. And then when we talked, I understood everything about his decision to retire. BA goes on to say he slammed it shut when I talked to him. I think a lot of these guys, you just like to hear their name out there. Where do you stand?
Yeah. Did you also see what they said? Is that I don't remember the word. I think they said accommodate, but I can't remember the exact verbiage. Where
Correct.
They said that they are not going to accommodate a trade to any other team getting access to Tom Brady.
Correct.
While he's still under contract.
Why would you? Because, Dennis, if Tom Brady goes to another team, that makes that team not only have an advantage over you, but makes them an automatic Super Bowl contender, if not a winner. And, I hear Mike Florio saying, and I'm going to get to these comments in a moment, he'll end up in San Francisco and the Bucs owe Tom Brady. And BA said today, look, man, that's bad business. We give up 5 number ones. Maybe we'll think about giving up on Brady. The only way Brady comes back is if it is in a Bucs uniform, period. Mm-hmm. And that's how it should be.
You know, and I don't blame him.
Right.
I mean, I don't. I mean, granted, the Bucs stepped in at the perfect time when he was leaving New England, and probably the same people who would be bitter about New England, about him leaving the Patriots, would be just as happy for him to come back. But it was a different situation because he was available to leave New England.
Right.
Isn't he still under contract even though he retired? I mean, don't they still have a contract through this season?
Yes, they still have a contract. They're getting cap relief at this point. That was the good news that came out yesterday. It's not going to be as much. It'll be still about $8 million. They'll be able to push more money next year. I think it's $9 million, something along those lines. So they get a break. And even BA mentioned it, and a reporter asked him, what happens if he comes back? Well, we got money waiting for him. You know, we'll just have to get the money up. He knows how important Brady is. So this whole, thought process of, well, the Bucs owe Tom Brady, and if Tom Brady's disenchanted, he has an opportunity to go anywhere he wants. No, we need to take our emotion out of this situation right now. This is business. He signed a contract for 2 years. He's still under contract. If there's a team like the stinking Miami Dolphins, and we could get to that in the next subject here, along with Sean Payton, that were considering bringing on Brady as a minority owner and Sean Payton as a coach. But at the end of the day, the Bucs still own those rights, period. That's it. There's no other discussion, right?
100%. 100%. I mean, that's just part of the business. Yeah. And like you said, why would you possibly let him go somewhere else if you have his rights? I mean, I will tell you, doing what I've done and in my business, these things happen a lot. Right. And a lot of times stations will not allow you to go across the street, even if they fire you. You have non-competes. You could be fired and still not be allowed to work anywhere within that same area for 1 year. I mean, I think a lot of businesses, I think we all know a lot of businesses have non-competes. So there's nothing unusual about what the expectations are with the Bucs saying, you know what, you signed a contract with us. I mean, hey, if, like you said, if they want to throw a bunch of first-round picks at him or whatever, which I don't think anybody in the world's going to do, but if they wanted to, then so be it. But up until then, we have the rights. And yes, we love you, Tom Brady, and that's what they're saying. You're the great. You won us a Super Bowl. You're the greatest guy in the world. But that doesn't mean we're going to let you just pick up and leave for free when we're a business owner. And when you were here, we did really well. And when you're not here, I'm not so sure we are going to do really well.
It's kind of like, and I hate to use this comparison, but, I kind of go somewhere to businesses and I say, this is what I can do for you. This is my cost. And they go, well, why don't you just do it for free? And I'm like, oh, wait a minute. Okay, so if I do it for free, are you getting me free food? No. Okay, well, what's the difference? This is business, my friend. Airtime is business. My sports web show is business. At the end of the day, it's business, baby. Show me the money. Let's go out to Mike Florio here. He says, absolutely. He said this to Dan Patrick on his show. I got to give it to Chris Sims. Credit for bringing this to fruition. Brady wanted to play for the 49ers when he's a free agent after leaving the Patriots, and the 49ers said, no, thank you. So once again, let me get this straight. Supposedly, Brady was spurned at the altar. He could have went to the 49ers, wanted to go to the 49ers. They turned him down for Jimmy G. And now, according to Mike Florio, they said, okay, good luck with Jimmy Garoppolo. I think the 49ers would admit that they probably have a Super Bowl trophy or two if they had gone with Tom Brady instead of Jimmy G, especially after this Tom Brady, Sean Payton, Miami Dolphin thing. I don't think he's retired. I think he's retired from the Buccaneers. I think he's trying to find a graceful exit from Tampa Bay. Last year, he got a Super Bowl. This year, he took a step back. And now I think he's eyeing a place where he walks through the door with the deck stacked in his favor. The question is, how much of a fight will the Buccaneers put up if he decides in June or July that he wants to leave? I would say they owe it to him to give him what he wants. He brought a Super Bowl trophy to the team who had no business being in the Super Bowl and filled that stadium last year. I think he's coming back. I just think he's trying to find a way out of Tampa Bay. I just don't understand the emphasis on it, because if you're spurned at the altar by the San Francisco 49ers, and I get it, it's his dream team. He watched Joe Montana. You'll watch the documentary of Joe Montana on Peacock. I don't know if you've seen that or not. Great documentary on Joe Montana. Haven't finished it yet. I get it. It's his dream team. He wanted to play for them, but they turned him down just 2 years ago for Jimmy G. Make some sense of this.
I don't care if they turned him down or not. That's a ridiculous statement. Tom Brady didn't play for the Bucs out of the goodness of his heart. How much was he paid?
Like $25 million or more than that?
So first of all, okay, so right off the bat, they don't owe him anything. He's been here for two seasons. You know, you can make the argument. The only time I think that's even a remotely valid point is if somebody like, let's say, a Larry Fitzgerald, or somebody who's been playing football, had played football for 15 years, and they wanted to get a ring. Maybe at that point, you might have not an obligation, but you might think, you know what, we're not going anywhere. Let's say that whatever that team that we're talking about, let's say they know they're not going anywhere that season. Maybe we let him go somewhere where he has an opportunity to get a ring. That I could see. I don't think it's an obligation, but I have seen in many sports, I've seen management let players do that. But that was not the case with the Bucs. Look, the Bucs were not. What was the comment he made, that they had no business being in the Super Bowl? What a moron.
No business. No, Dennis, they had no business being in the Super Bowl. They had a ready-made team. What are you talking about?
Exactly. That's my point.
Come on, man.
It's just a ridiculous statement. They needed a great quarterback to get it done. They found one, and they did. And by the way, why do you think Tom Brady came to Tampa? Not because of the money, because they had way better receivers than they had in New England, and because, like you said, everything was put together. So and I'm not even talking from as a Bucs fan, because that's just not the case. I'm just saying, don't sit out here and say that the Bucs were nothing or had no business being in the Super Bowl. That's just a ridiculous statement. And anybody would say that. And Florio is supposed to have a good reputation, but after hearing that, that's just nonsense. So, yes, occasionally there might be times where players are allowed to seek other avenues, possibly hook on as a free agent. Maybe even sometimes that happens, in July in baseball when a player might have an opportunity to catch on as a free agent as a bench player for a World Series potential team. So be it. That is not the case with Tom Brady at all. And they don't owe him. They don't owe him anything.
Nothing.
They don't owe Tom Brady anything. They paid him $25 million. He did his job. He did his job well. It was an awesome year. And last year he had another MVP season, better year than Aaron Rodgers had. Should have won the MVP. But don't say we owe him anything. That's just absolute nonsense.
It is. And Florio, it seems like he's had something against the Bucs, BA, Tom Brady. I don't know what his deal is, but this is what he gets for that nonsense. All right, you mentioned Aaron Rodgers. The report today, there's nobody is wanting to get Aaron Rodgers in a trade. Supposedly, he'll have a decision before free agency starts. The other report was last week that he wants $50 million a year. Look, if you trade for this guy, are you going to pay him $50 million a year? 38 years old. Does he really deserve that, Dennis, in your opinion? $50 million? I mean,
he deserves it if he can get it.
Right.
Now, I don't begrudge any player. I don't begrudge any person on earth being paid as much as they possibly can be paid if somebody's willing to pay him. Period. And there's a lot of people, oh, they make too much money as it is. Oh, they're playing a game. Whatever. If somebody is willing to pay these people that money, no matter what you do in your living, then I think more power to you, and I think it's great. I don't have any problem at all. And if somebody's willing to pay Aaron Rodgers because they think he's worth $50 million, more power to Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
Do I think it's going to happen? I can't imagine, but he had a heck of a year. He was the MVP. So, I mean, maybe there's a team out there like the Niners or, who's another team that's right on the fringe that needs a quarterback? The Niners and the Bucs. So, I mean, and Rodgers, I can't imagine would ever come to the Bucs, only because I can't imagine him wanting to pick up the slack from Tom Brady after Brady stepped right in and won a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And if Rodgers didn't do that, then there would always be look what Brady did here. You weren't good enough to do that. And he seems like that might be an issue with him. I have no idea. I kept thinking he was going to Denver, and now he may or may not be. But
I mean, do you think he stays? Do you think he eventually stays with the Packers? I mean, they're saying they've mended their relationship. Supposedly, he was broken up with his Hollywood actress girlfriend. They could be back together. I mean, it just seems like kumbaya. I mean, they're just singing all kumbaya. Everything is forgotten. And I feel like Rodgers is about to pull like a heel trick here where he says, you know what? I'm going to take my chair and wrestling terms. I'm going to hit you over the head, trade me somewhere, and all that kumbaya is going to go by the wayside. Come on, look in your crystal ball and tell me, what do you think is going to happen with this situation? Does Aaron Rodgers gets traded to a team like the Denver Broncos? Maybe even the Raiders. Nobody's mentioning the Raiders at this point.
Derek Carr's pretty good, man.
Pretty good. But, maybe they want Aaron Rodgers. Do you think he gets traded to one of those teams, or does he stay with the Packers?
I originally thought he was going to go to Denver, but remember last year we were talking about it. And he was like, oh, he's not going to, everybody says, no way he's going to stay. He's always going to stay. And I can think he's going to stay.
Yeah.
And, if nobody's willing to give the price that the Packers are looking for, then I think he's going to stay.
Yeah.
And early indications are maybe no one's willing to give him the price yet. But then again, this also might just be the whole thing we talked about, the whole negotiation thing. An agent throws something out, a GM throws something out. Hey, you know what? Aaron Rodgers, nobody wants him. That comes out there. Then all of a sudden people start talking about it. So who knows? Who knows?
I've kind of said on this. I've had a topic of discussion on this where quarterbacks get $50 million a year, and it basically hinders their team. And here's a quarterback throughout the years, and the reason why he wants out of Green Bay supposedly is because this organization hasn't done enough, namely spend money and put pieces around him. How does $50 million? I get it. You can get $50 million if you want it, if you're asking for it. But in the grand scheme of things, you look at Tom Brady. He's taking less money almost every year with the New England Patriots. It's a blueprint for success. He takes less money with the Bucs because he wants them to try to win another Super Bowl. Why don't other quarterbacks get this? This has been my problem. And even his former player, Greg Jennings, called him out the other day and said in so many terms, Aaron Rodgers is about Aaron Rodgers. He's a selfish player.
I mean, I've heard that I've heard that too. I mean, I think kind of his media presence over the years has kind of maybe shown that to be the case. I mean, I don't know Aaron Rodgers. Maybe he's a great guy in the clubhouse, and maybe it's just the way that the media portrays him. I don't really know. And again, I don't care. So much of this stuff is just, I don't care. I don't care what he's like off the field. I don't care what he's like in the locker room. What's he do on the field, and how many rings has he won? And how is he going to make you a much, much better player? I just get so tired of the stuff that's out there regarding with these players. And at the end of the day, look, I'll probably end up staying in Green Bay. If you want to say, what do you think is going to happen? I think he's going to stay in Green Bay. Okay. 2 months ago, I thought he was going to go to Denver. Or a month ago, I thought he was going to go to Denver. Now, I think he's going to stay in Green Bay. But I don't know. What difference does it make? I don't know anything. Do you know anything? I don't know.
I don't know anything at this point. We're on with Dennis Phillips of ABC Action News. What's the forecast looking like for the weekend, my friend?
Hot. That's it. Just hot. That's to you. It's like 88, 89. It's just that's really my forecast for the next 6 months, probably. I doubt we even see another front. Tomorrow morning actually going to be kind of nice, 40s and 50s.
Wow.
And then we're back in the upper 80s to around 90 degrees. I don't know, Peter. I mean, we don't have baseball right now. We have March Madness coming around real soon, and that's going to be exciting. That's a blast. I was planning on going to Vegas for March Madness. I was thinking about it. I'm not going to be able to do it, but right. I've never been to Vegas during March Madness, and I think that would be a pretty amazing place to go when the tournament's on. I can't imagine what a crazy place that would be.
I mean, how could I mean, it's the best place to go at that point. Everything
you
is
would think. I wonder if Harry's done that. I wonder if Harry's gone.
I don't know where Harry's at. I mean, I miss Harry. I miss my co-host, Mr. Harry the Greek.
Where is Harry?
He's taking a rest. He hasn't, felt good lately. I miss him on the sports web. I think he'll probably call or probably watch us and say, "Hey, you shot me out last night."
What do you mean? What do you mean? He's been losing?
No, I don't think he's been losing.
That's sometimes when people disappear when they're in a cold streak. They're like, "Man, I'm gonna get this." I'm just saying. I've been there. Trust me, I have been there. So
I don't think he's losing a lot, but I think what he's doing is kind of taking a break away from everything. I don't know. He's been working a lot at his first job, and it's been tough on him. So try to get him back on here on the sports web. Harry the Greek.
He was the star of our playoff specials.
Right.
I mean, I'm telling you, I got phone calls constantly. Where's Harry the Greek? Where is Harry? I want his autograph. Hey, I want his pick. I'm going to give him $20 for his best pick. Everybody no one was saying that. But regardless, I mean, he was very entertaining. It was good stuff. And now maybe he's too big. Maybe now that he's gone, you know what? Maybe because he's gone an affiliate now and he's like doing these specials. He's like, you know what? I'm not going to be on a streaming show. If I'm not on broadcast TV, I ain't doing it. Harry. That's okay. All
right. One thing that Harry was predicting, I think, has kind of been pushed.
The Rams would lose the Super Bowl. No, the Rams would. No, what did he predict?
He thought the Rams would blow out the Super Bowl.
That's what
it was. Close game. But
that's right.
Now, he was talking about Jameis Winston. There's been a lot of discussion, and he makes some sense on this, bringing back a Jameis Winston because he knows the offense. Of course, you talk about the 30 interceptions, 33 touchdowns. Bruce Arians was asked today, according to Rick Stroud, he's not totally opposed to re-signing Jameis Winston as a free agent, but doesn't think it would be the best thing for Winston. What does that sound like to you?
I don't even know what that means. What does that mean? Well, does he care about who said that?
He says he's not totally opposed.
Arians?
Yes, to re-signing Jameis Winston as a free agent, but he doesn't think it would be the best thing for Winston.
Because head coaches always care about what's in the best interest of the player and not the team, right? Always. That's sports 101, right? What? You know what? Winston's kind of an interest. I mean, a lot of people, and I'm not saying I disagree, a lot of people think Jameis Winston would be better than a Blaine Gabbert or a Kyle Trask. So, I mean.
Wait, there's more. I got something to show you here. I'm going to put you in the lobby. You've got to hear these comments from BA about Trask and especially Blaine Gabbert. This makes it sound like he's okay with starting Blaine Gabbert from the very get-go, whether this is coach speak or not.
It is. I mean, what's he going to say, right?
Right. Well, I got to put you in the lobby. You got to hear this because you're going to laugh about this. All right, stand by. Dennis Phillips of ABC Action News. Let's go out to these comments really quick from BA talking about the quarterback situation, if you will, on the evolution of sports talk television. Here we go.
Well, there's very, very few available unless you're via trade. Blaine Gabbert's been in the system for a long time now, and his talent is more than enough. So if we go free agency-wise, we'll probably bring him back. I think he's got all the respect in the locker room. You know, they saw him help Tom, and he's helped each and every one of those guys on offense and some on defense. He's got a great relationship in that locker room. And I think they also see what Kyle can do, you know, and what he's got going forward. Yeah, I think everybody's judged on record, you know, and when you're playing on a shitty team and you get drafted high, number one, you're probably on a shitty team. Very seldom, you know, Ben was lucky, he went to the Steelers. He dropped to 11, he got on a good team. But you go through those growing pains, 8 head coaches, 9 coordinators in your first 8 years. But you got to have something about you to keep going. All right. And when we got him, I was always a fan. I go back to his rookie year, Jacksonville at Pittsburgh, and they don't block James Harrison off the edge. And he threw a touchdown, and James Harrison hit him in the mouth about time the ball was going out. He jumped up, went and grabbed his guy. I said, he's going to be a player. And, you know, he won 2 big games for us in Arizona when we were decimated with injuries, you know. And so I know what he can do. And I don't judge records from the past. What are you going to do for me today? And I like what he can do for us today. Yeah, he's been in about 8 systems, but he's been in this one 5 years. And he was crucial to Tom's development. And he's got the answers to the test. Now, does he still have the skill level to do it? I think so.
All right, welcome back to the evolution of sports talk television. I mean, wow. I mean, there's Bucs fans right now, their head is exploding. And I was looking at this and I'm like, this is great sell. But I mean, honestly, Denis, if he's right, if you can't get a free agent quarterback, because some of the quarterbacks out there that are being talked about, we talked about Winston and Teddy Bridgewater. I mean, what if this is real? Like, what if the last season of BA's, if this is his last season, and you would assume it is, he wants to try out Blaine Gabbert? I mean, do you buy this?
Yeah, sometimes you got to do what you got to do. I mean, if there's nothing else, then they're a 500 team or maybe sub 500 a little bit, and that's probably what's going to end up. I mean, look, Blaine Gabbert's been in the league since 2011. You're right. He was right. I mean, he was 3 years for the Jags, 3 years for the Niners, played for the Cardinals, the Titans, the Bucs. I mean, granted, he's been in the system for 5 years, but did he really just say that Tom Brady, that his development or his year, Blaine Gabbert was a crucial part of Brady's success?
Critical to Brady's development.
Yeah. Okay. Well, he might. You know what? Great guy in the locker room, no doubt. That I'm sure the players respect him. All these things. That's great. But you still got to do on the field what you got to do to win ball games, and that was kind of Jameis's thing too. I mean, Jameis shot himself in the foot every other day, and I just think that. I mean, come on, Blaine Gabbert is not the answer for a winning Bucs team. He just isn't.
He's not. And if you're going with Blaine Gabbert, and I get it, the next subject would be, what do you do with Chris Godwin? And it certainly seems like they want to sign Chris Godwin. They want to get him signed. That's going to be their number one priority, whether they sign him to a long-term deal because of the injury situation or whether they franchise him. BA knows how important he is. Jason Light knows how important Chris Godwin is. But if I'm Chris Godwin, am I really truly thinking about going back to the Bucs and playing with Blaine Gabbert? That's not pushing the needle. Kyle Trask, I get it. He did some great things at Florida, but he's never taken a snap in the National Football League. I mean, it's great sell job. I just don't necessarily believe it. But the thing that floored me was, hey, I think he could still get it done. If the decision is on BA at this point, BA would say, whether they're going to make a trade or not. And again, it may be coach speak. They may be just, putting out smoke screens out there because they really are going to make a trade for somebody. But Blaine Gabbert, wow. I didn't expect that.
I just think, look, you have to feel as though that the coach is doing what the coach has to do. Right. He has no control over ultimately whether a trade is going to happen or not. I mean, the Bucs don't have as much control either. It's two-sided. So right off the bat, a trade, you never know what's going to happen. A free agent, like you said, Bridgewater, Teddy Bridgewater is serviceable. Garoppolo is having shoulder surgery, and he's not going to be back until the summer. So you've already got damaged goods right there, and then you wonder if how much better he's going to be once he comes back from his surgery. I don't know if you had heard that he's getting surgery, but yeah. So you've all of a sudden, the one guy that clearly the Niners were looking to get rid of, because Trey Lance is going to be a superstar, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. But all of a sudden, he may be forced to have what he has as his starting quarterback, whether it's Kyle Trask or Blaine Gabbert. So you got to start early as a coach saying, look, he can do it. And every coach in the world is going to do that, as they should. It's their job to give that quarterback confidence that he could do the job. And it's probably most of the fans' jobs to be like, really? You think it's going to happen? But you know what? Sometimes it does. Sometimes out of the blue, these guys show up. And, Ryan Fitzpatrick is kind of one of those guys. I mean, he's been a guy who people pretty much downplay all the time. But every now and again, he comes into a stretch where he's unbeatable. But, who knows? Maybe the cards will fall perfectly and Gabbert or Trask could have a really nice season for the Bucs if it plays out that way, but I wouldn't bet on it. Would you?
No, I wouldn't bet on it at all. And I tell you right now, a guy that's, to me, is coming to the conversation even more is Carson Wentz.
I love Carson Wentz. I told you that in weeks.
And I know you have, and I don't understand the hatred, and I get it. I had some of that, making fun of him not being able to stay healthy. But honestly, you look at the numbers, 26-7. And BA has already talked about him in the past being possibly the next Andrew Luck. He's the second overall pick. And there's a possibility, according to ESPN's Chris Mortensen, the Colts will likely trade or release Wentz by March 18th. The reason why, Dennis, that's when Wentz's full $22 million base salary will be guaranteed and will receive a $6.29 million roster bonus. But if Wentz is released before then, the Colts would owe Wentz $15 million in base salary, but would not owe him the other $13.29. So if he's cut, and I feel like teams out there already know that the Colts are going to try to get something for him because they're definitely not going to get a first-round pick. Obviously, they may not even get a second-round pick. So if the Colts can't get what they're looking for, is there a possibility, in your opinion, that Carson Wentz is cut, that the first phone call the Bucs should make should be to Carson Wentz?
I would. 2017, 33 touchdowns, 7 picks, 3,300 yards. 2018, 21 touchdowns, 7 picks. Then he had his ACL, 4,000 yards, 27-7. And then when he had his ACL, it was 16-15. And then last year, 27 touchdowns, 7 picks. That ain't too shabby, man. No. And 3,500 yards. Now, granted, he had Jonathan Taylor, as a lead back. So the passing game could be secondary to that rushing attack because that rushing attack's pretty amazing. But I don't know. I personally, I'm a fan. I mean, the guy has shown toughness. He's been hurt a lot. You're right, but he's played when he's been hurt. I mean, this year, both his ankles were bad at the same time, and he still ran out there and played. And I like him. I personally, with Garoppolo, damaged goods, shoulder surgery.
Sure.
Teddy Bridgewater, I mean, old.
Right.
Jameis Winston, interesting. Winston's interesting. I mean, he is. Sure. And who else you got? I mean, everybody, Deshaun Watson. No, probably not. Kyler Murray, his agent came out a couple days ago with a letter saying Kyler wants to stay where he is. He just wants the support. Clearly, he was just looking for dollar signs. That's what he's doing. Correct. Don't begrudge it, but that's what that agent wrote that for. Right. I think reasonably, the quarterbacks out there that the Bucs would have a shot would probably be Garoppolo, Wentz, Bridgewater, and from that.
To me, Wentz makes the most sense, and I'll tell you why, because BA said it today. He wants a strong leader. Wentz has been somewhat of that in his career to a certain degree.
Too.
Yes, tough guy. And on top of it, he said this really strongly in his presser. I don't want a guy that's going to turn over the ball. I mean, let's face it. That's the reason why Jameis Winston isn't here anymore, because he turned over the football. And that's the reason why he was considering Teddy Bridgewater as the second choice if you don't get a Tom Brady. So to me, you look at Wentz's overall touchdown to interception ratio, and on top of it, I'll make a crazy comparison, right? So Brady, his last year with the Patriots, he throws 24 touchdowns and 8 interceptions. And what's the talk? Well, you know what? He's washed up, and also he may have not had those weapons. Here you got a quarterback that's younger. Nobody's saying he's washed up, but he's not getting, the national love. But really, what did Carson Wentz have besides Jonathan Taylor at wide receiver? Michael Pittman Jr., and he still threw 26 touchdowns and 7 interceptions.
T.Y. Hilton was out most of the year. Right. And, I think he's an interesting player to consider. He's a big guy too. He's 6'5", 240.
Right.
So now I will tell you, and I followed him pretty closely because I had him on my fantasy team for 2 years. He does have a tendency to force the ball a little bit sometimes, and that hasn't necessarily translated into interceptions for whatever reason. But I can tell you, I watched plenty of games where he made some ill-advised passes and got away with it, and sometimes he didn't get away with it. And I know that's not the kind of player that BA likes. So that is kind of an interesting little caveat there. But of the 3 guys, if Garoppolo, again, bad shoulder, I don't know. I mean, I've never been a big Jimmy G guy. I mean, he's fine. He's fine. But does he really grab you and be like
a manager? That's what he is. He can do some things. He can make some throws, but you have to build a running game around him. You have to build a defense. which is specifically the reason why the 49ers went after Trey Lance in the first place, because he is supposedly an upgrade over Jimmy G. He has the mobility. He has a stronger arm. He can make better decisions. He has that Jimmy Garoppolo doesn't have. Now, Denis, if you have a defense and a running game that you can build around him, and you basically ask him to be a DLG quarterback, yeah. But if you're putting him in this BA offense, I'm not sure he's going to work because his deep ball accuracy is terrible. It's absolutely terrible.
Mm-hmm. And do the Bucs have a running game now? We don't know yet.
We don't know. We don't know if Leonard Fournette's coming back. I don't think Ronald Jones is coming back because he hasn't progressed. He hasn't gotten better when it comes to pass protection. And that is probably the biggest key factor in this offense. You would have to say, watching this offense the last couple years, you have to have a running back that not only doesn't turn over the football, but also can pass protect. Because if you're going to ask a quarterback to throw the ball 30 to 40 times a game, and you put that running back in those situations and he can't block, he's going to get your quarterback killed.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we talk all about this, but until we really have an idea who the heck is or even around the quarterback, we and when is that all going to happen? I mean, you would think that might be happening in the next several weeks, at least, right?
About 2 weeks away from free agency. We're on with Denis Phillips. And, oh, by the way, I think Harry just checked in.
You know what? Harry is so predictable because all you have to do is say something like, boy, Harry's been losing a lot lately. And he'll be like, come on, man. What are you doing?
What's going on here? What are you doing? I feel attacked. That's what he would say.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. We love you, Harry. Harry, I'm enamored with you. I mean, like I said, I turn on the TV on ABC Action News, and all of a sudden Harry's all over the place. What the heck? I'm seeing promos for Harry the Greek. I'm used to seeing Denis Phillips promos, meteorologist. Now I'm seeing Harry the Greek, professional handicapper. Tune in at 11.
Yeah.
Man.
He didn't even ask his co-host of the show or the guy that got him on his show all the time. Hey, man. Hey, you're going on Channel 28. Hey, do you want to come on with me? Do you want to provide some analysis? I'm just joking. I love you.
Yeah, well, and I will be honest, that's my fault because when they were talking about doing their stories on for the playoffs, I go, oh yeah, there's this guy Harry, and I said Harry the Greek, and they're like, really, Harry the Greek? He went with that name? And I go, yeah. Does he know the history? Like, yeah, it's okay. Right. But I said he knows his stuff and he can talk about the bet because I think the questions were the betting lines for the very first Bucs game, and sure enough, when I thought betting, my mind went to Harry because the two go hand in hand. It's Harry the Greek. Of course it is.
It's Harry the Greek, and I saw an old video. I was watching the Joe Montana special, and Jimmy the Greek, he said, "I'm taking Cincinnati."
Well, Harry should have listened. Harry should have listened.
Well, listen, Jimmy took Cincinnati, but Harry took L.A., but he thought L.A. was going to blow them out. And, of course, Cincinnati kept it close, and that's what Jimmy was
covered and got the money, which is the thing that Harry was most interested in.
Last question, fantasy question. Saquon Barkley, how much value does he have around the league? Because the general manager came out today and said in so many words, look, and I even think Jacksonville said this, we're open for business on our number one pick. Of course you are. Of course you want multiple picks for somebody to take your number one pick. We know you want to do that. But Saquon Barkley, he was a number one pick, what top 4, top 5 selection. You're not going to be able to get a number one pick for Saquon Barkley. Do you think the Giants consider actually trading him? And how much value do you think he has to a team? Let's throw it out there because the Bucs don't have a running back. Saquon Barkley, how much do you think it will take to pry him from the Giants?
I would trade the whole team for Saquon Barkley. You don't understand. You don't understand. I have like 5 Saquon jerseys in my closet at home. Mm-hmm. I'm not even a Giants fan, and I have a road and an away Giants jersey with Saquon on it. Saquon is by far my favorite college football player of all time. Being a Penn State grad right off the bat, but there was just everything about him I loved. So it breaks my heart to see how his NFL career has gone. And some guys, for whatever reason, are just injury prone. And Saquon, so far at least, has been that guy. He said all the right things like, man, I want to stay in New York. I'm going to make this. I want to be here when this team gets better and all this kind of stuff. But he's just, you wonder if he's cursed. Because, I mean, the ACLs will happen, but I mean, he stepped on a guy's foot and rolled his ankle and was out for 6 weeks because of that. He just can't catch a break. And I was just talking to Jameson, Harry's best friend. I was just talking to Jameson about that tonight. And because I saw the Giants are 11 million over the cap, and Saquon's expected to get 7.2 this year. And that's clearly why they're talking about it. Sure. Don't even tease me, man. Don't even tease me that you're talking about the Saquon even coming to the Bucs, because I don't even know what I would do at that point in time. I hope he turns it around. I mean, I'm as biased could be with that guy. I really hope he turns it around, because I love the guy. So I'm not the good person to ask, because I will say anything positive for the guy. I just think first of all, he won my fantasy league for me 2 years ago, because even though he had a horrible year, his last week, he got me 51 points in the championship game. So he came up big. So a lot of times that just added to the love I have for the guy. I hope he turns it around. Is it going to be with the Giants? The Giants' offensive line is the worst offensive line in the history of football. All right, maybe a little strong, but they're pretty terrible.
No, that's
He's
true.
had no holes. He's had no ability to get any openings at all. I would love to see what that guy could do with at least a respectable offensive line, and that's not something that the Giants have had in years.
Great stuff, as always. Denis Phillips of ABC Action News. Go ahead and promote yourself here on the Evolution of Sports Talk Television.
I'm on Monday through Friday. This weekend, I'm actually on as well, because I got to go do the MC at the Gasparilla Festival of Art, and then a half hour later, I'm over here doing TV stuff, talk about the weather. But the forecast is not going to change, so it really doesn't matter. It's going to be sunny and hot for the next 6 months.
All right, good stuff. Somebody asked also, hey, Denis, how's hurricane season looking? That would be Roger.
That's a good question. All right, so we're in La Nina. We're in a La Nina, not that you really care what that means, but when we have a La Nina, it's why it's hot and dry. La Ninas mean a more active hurricane seasons. So forecast is we may see a La Nina in through August. So if that's the case, we may have what we call a front-weighted hurricane season, which means there might be quite a few more early on in the season. They're not on the Atlantic. The water's too cold in June and July. Where is the water warmer in June and July? The Gulf of Mexico and the Caribbean.
Correct.
So we might need to keep an eye out on an early season storm sometime in June or July, whether it be the Gulf or the Caribbean. So there you go. There's your long-range hurricane forecast.
Love it. There you go, Roger Shue. We answered your question. Thanks a lot for your time, Mr. Denis Phillips of ABC Action News.
See you, Peter. Hey, tell Harry I said hi.
I will. Harry, where are you at? We're going to get him on with you one of these nights. Thanks a lot, Denis, for the time.
See you, Peter.
All right, buddy. Good stuff there from Denis Phillips. Let's go ahead and read some of these comments, as now it's your time. It's your time to call the phone lines. I don't want to hear this tonight. I just don't. I mean, like I said, I came in here. I hate Tuesdays. You're making me feel better, though, with the comments, with possibly some phone calls, lots of Bucs news to talk about. But honestly, I hate Tuesdays. I don't know why. So get me out of this mood. Get me out of this funk. Get on the phone line. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. It's the Sports Web live here on I Love St. Pete and the Hub. I'm your host, Peter Blake, giving you something to think about. Roger Shue says, let's go. Alex says, no baseball. That was the breaking news of the day. If you're a baseball fan, which I am, we're not going to have a baseball season, at least the first couple of series, according to Rob Manfred. Gotta love that, don't you? I mean, nothing like hearing all day long there's a possibility of a deal getting struck, and then at the very last minute, nope, not happening. Not happening at all. Who knows if it's going to happen for a while. I mean, you put these guys together, you hear some of the reports coming out, 8 hours and to go. What the hell are you talking about in 8 hours? Are you ordering lunch? What are you ordering for lunch? What are you drinking in the morning? Orange juice or coffee? I mean, is that the kind of conversations we're going through here and they're all disagreeing on everything? Goodness gracious. It's baseball, damn it. Come to an agreement. It's just that simple. And I get it. It's not that simple. Because I'm not a player. I'm not making those millions of dollars, if you will. But, we want to see the Rays play, don't we? We want to see the Yankees, even though, you hate the Yankees, but you want to see them play because they'll always make these big trades at the deadline that used to work out that won't work out now because they're overpay. The Red Sox. You want to see the National League. I know Roger Shu's a Cubs fan, so I didn't forget you. It's March, and you still got a baby saying Merry Christmas. Change it up. You hear what I got to say about that? That's my niece, so shut up.
Shut up!
That's our intro. You know why it's the intro? Because it was done during Christmas time, and that's the happiest time of the year. And also, I got that little baby to say Tampa Bay. So her mother, my sister, can never sit there and say, hey, you didn't get my kid to say, oh no, she's a Bucs fan forever. She's down in Bucs lore forever. That little baby is we're going to have that intro as long as we can. We're going to keep on doing that. And I'm going to keep on seeing my niece and corrupting her to be a Bucs fan. And that's all I got to say about that. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. All right. Don't know what that is. Okay. I mean, God, speak English on this show. I have no idea at all. Creamsicle baby. What's wrong with the creamsicle? What's wrong with firing the cannons? What's wrong with Byron Leftwich?
How about them Bucs, baby?
Nothing. Nothing's wrong with the creamsicle. Although what you're saying is it's associated with losing. I get that, but if you look into the time machine, the first couple years, namely 1979 at Rogers Shoe, they were in the NFC Championship game. Just saying. One game away from the Super Bowl with Doug Williams and Leroy Selman. And a cast of characters. And for the couple years there, they were a playoff team. In fact, one of the fastest playoff teams in NFL history. So up yours with the creamsicle comment. We asked about the hurricane season. What's going on? Christopher, miss you, buddy. Denis, you may be right about the Greek. Where is Harry the Greek? Where is he at? What does he think about Blaine Gabbert? He's been a Blaine Gabbert supporter. Where are you, Harry? I know somebody said the other night, I'm going to puke. He told the guy, get ready to puke, because more than likely the Bucs may be going with Blaine Gabbert. And from those comments, take him in at his word, it certainly seems like the Bucs could be comfortable and going with their current quarterback situation. Now, Gabbert is a free agent, but BA mentioned it today in his presser. He would bring him back. He feels comfortable with Gabbert. He knows the system. He's been in it for 5 years. He was a big part of Tom Brady's development, a crucial part, a critical part. I think I paraphrased that one. But that's what he was saying. And this goes all the way back when he was a rookie for Jacksonville and he was in Pittsburgh. I mean, who knows, right? And we talk about this quarterback situation, the quarterback carousel a couple years ago. It's very different. It is. There's not a lot of big-name free agent quarterbacks out there. In fact, BA mentioned this today. There's nobody behind door number 2. You hear from his comments, it's not going to be Jameis Winston. Certainly he doesn't seem like it. He's open to it, but he says it's not the best thing for Winston. That, to me, tells me he doesn't want him. Just saying. Teddy Bridgewater, maybe? Yeah. Jimmy Garoppolo, shoulder surgery. He's still got a trade for him. He's already damaged goods. Carson Wentz, I think, is a great possibility. And I know a lot of Bucs fans don't like it, but look inside those numbers. You know, Kyler Murray, he wants a big-time deal. He wants an extension at this point. So we'll see how it works out. But what you take from that presser today, I don't know what you take from it, because, both of these guys, and Jason Light and BA, could be saying one thing and doing another. That's what they got to do. They're asked a question. They're not going to give away their cards. It's a poker game. Free agency is only a couple weeks away. So we'll see how that works out. All right. Let's get this guy on. I guess he didn't want to come on video tonight. That's okay. He always criticizes me because I don't get him on. Let's go out to the power man himself.
Yeah, baby. Yeah.
Mr. Jason Powers, Powers on Sports Podcast. And I got to start with Jason Light going with the Motel 6 reference. Hey, Tom Brady will leave the light on for you. Your thoughts?
They're going to leave the light on for them until they turn the light off.
Well, I mean, when's that light getting turned off? That's what I'm because, again, I get it. You're holding out hope, but eventually you're going to have to go in a certain direction. We've talked about this when it comes to free agency, and you're saying, look, I want to keep Chris Godwin. He's an important part of the team, which he is, 98 catches. BA loves him. He was comparing him to Larry Fitzgerald and Hines Ward and Reggie Wayne. So you can't afford to lose him. But, if I'm Chris Godwin, I know I'm comfortable. I know I love Tampa. But Blaine Gabbert and Kyle Trask are not pushing the needle for me. I get it. You have to, it takes two to tango for a trade. But it certainly seemed like today from the comments, the Bucs are just not thinking they're going to make a trade at this point.
And they may not have to make a trade. You mentioned a name a couple minutes ago, Carson Wentz, likely to get released here. And you can probably get him for a very economical number on a short-term deal to where you can have some competition between him and Kyle Trask and potentially Blaine Gabbert, even though I told you weeks ago that if Blaine Gabbert's the starting quarterback for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in 2022, I might vomit in my mouth opening day.
Well, that was you, and you remember what Harry said, and he said, get ready to vomit. And from the comments, when we played them earlier, I mean, you had BA selling, look, he played for a crappy team. He didn't say crappy, but I'm just going to do this anyway because that's what he was saying. And, I don't look at record. I look at the guy. He's a gamer. There was a situation where he gets knocked down by James Harrison, and he's able to make a play. And then he's been in this system for 5 years, and he was an important part to Tom Brady's development. I mean, in your opinion, is that coach speak, or is that BA saying, you know what? There may not be the options that I want at quarterback. I'm going to go with what I know, and that's Mr. Gabbert.
Mr. Blake, it's only March the 1st, my man.
I know, man. I know. I'm trying to get your blood boiled. I don't want you to throw up in your mouth. I don't know what you ate tonight, so we definitely want to keep that down. We're on with Jason Powers on Sports Podcast. Yeah, go ahead.
He's talking this way because, first of all, those guys are the guys that are on the roster now. That's first and foremost.
Sure.
And two, they've really not been able to make a move. I mean, it's not like it's 2 weeks into free agency. They've attempted to do some things and weren't able to do it. They've not even made any moves yet. And I can promise you that the position of Bruce Arians and Jason Light will change in 2 weeks when it's free agency time. Now, if after a week or so of free agency and there's no move made, then you got to think, okay, then it might be Kyle Trask and or Blaine Gabbert. Okay.
Yeah. And I hope it doesn't come down to that because I'm not a Gabbert fan. Although, I see BA's point where he goes, look, he's had different offensive coordinators, different head coaches. Give him a chance. But again, I don't know if, he's going to come in this offense and absolutely blow it up. No. I think definitely Carson Wentz is an interesting key here because as I was talking to Denis about this, they may cut him if Carson Wentz is released before March 18th. The Colts would owe Wentz $15 million in base salary, but would not owe him the other $13.29. Of course, the $22 million base salary. So I'm thinking, maybe the Colts pay half of that, or the Bucs pay half, and they give him a third or fourth round pick. And then basically you got a quarterback, who, by the way, a lot of Bucs fans are down on, but you look at his touchdown to interception ratio, 26-7. It's pretty good.
Yeah, so I mean, statistically it wasn't bad, and I will say this, the Colts offensive line was not good in the pass protection front. They had a great running game with Jonathan Taylor, but pass protection-wise, they did not do a very good job. But I would say this, it's not the stats that are the things that you have to be worried about. It's the timeliness of the disastrous mistakes. You remember the game late in the year when he threw the ball basically blindly in his own end zone that turned into a defensive touchdown. I mean, those are the kind of things that you can't have. I don't care what his stats are. It's the 7 interceptions. They were disastrous interceptions. And he had a championship running game. That's the thing that's tough to swallow, is when you do have a championship running game and you're still making those kind of disastrous mistakes.
But picture it, Jason Powers. Doesn't it seem like a BA type of guy? I mean, he takes some chances, no risk it, no biscuit, big arm. BA already compares him to Andrew Luck. I mean, he was the number 2 overall pick just a couple years ago. I mean, it's not like you're not getting value. And then on top of it, you're not, the Colts, you're not giving up a first-round pick. You're getting him for possibly a 3rd or 4th or maybe even less than that if the Colts just outright release him, which is certainly a possibility because teams out there know that the Colts are not going to get anything of value for him.
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to – I don't think you're going to give him a 3rd or 4th. You're either going to take him as getting released or potentially maybe a 6th or 7th round draft pick if that's the only option left. Because if you're the Bucs, you don't pay a 3rd or 4th round draft pick for Carson Wentz.
Yeah, all right. We're on with Jason Powers, Powers on Sports podcast, all the major podcasting platforms here on the Evolution. We have to get him on every week because he was asking me, and I was laughing about it. He's like, what happened to me? I'm on the list or something? I'm not on the sports web anymore. Man, you're always welcome. You're my buddy, my tag team partner, and, of course, TJ Reeves being the manager, Freddie Classy Blassie there. Let's talk about the other quarterbacks in this situation. Jimmy Garoppolo, shoulder surgery. To me, he's damaged goods. His value goes down. Of course, the reports are there are still teams interested. But really, if you're the Bucs, does Jimmy Garoppolo fit this offense, in your opinion?
No. Jimmy's not a down-the-field thrower of the ball. He's a game manager. He'd be a good fit in a place like Pittsburgh, potentially. Not a Tampa Bay Buccaneer guy, kind of offensive thrower of the ball. Again, shoulder surgery, sounds like he's going to be out till the summer. That's not something you want to see if you're coming to a new offense. You want a guy to be ready to go in mini camp, learning that offense. If you bring somebody in from the outside, you want to be ready to go in April, whenever the OTAs begin. You don't want a guy having to wait till June, early July to even start throwing a ball around. And I just don't think he's a great fit in this offense, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I was thinking about it, and you look at Warren Sharp's numbers, you always go to his numbers, and he's a terrible passer of the ball downfield when it's 20 yards or more, and that's basically BA's offense. No risk it, no biscuit. That's why I say Wentz any more than anything else, because he has deep ball accuracy. Want to go out to Mike Florio, his comments on the Dan Patrick Show. Not sure if you caught these or not, but he says about Tom Brady, and he has gotten on this whole bandwagon of thinking that Tom Brady's going to go to the 49ers. He says to Dan, absolutely, I got to give Chris Sims credit for bringing this to fruition. Brady wanted to play for the 49ers when he's a free agent after leaving the Patriots, and the 49ers said, no, thank you. Okay, good luck with Jimmy Garoppolo. I think the 49ers would admit that they probably would have a Super Bowl trophy or two if they had gone with Tom Brady instead of Jimmy G, especially after this Tom Brady, Sean Payton, Miami Dolphins thing, which we'll get into after this, which is ridiculous in itself. I don't think he's retired. I think he's retired from the Buccaneers. I think he's trying to find a graceful exit from Tampa Bay. Last year, he got a Super Bowl. This year, they took a step back. And now I think he's eyeing a place where he walks through the door with the deck stacked in his favor. The question is, how much of a fight will the Buccaneers put up if he decides in June or July that he wants to leave? I would say they owe it to him to give him what he wants. He brought a Super Bowl trophy to a team who had no business, Jason Powers, being in the Super Bowl, and he filled the stadium last year. I think he's coming back. I just don't think he's trying to find a way out of Tampa. Your thoughts?
That may very well be the case. I mean, I'm not going to say that's not the case at all. I would be, when you think about Tampa, they're still going to have elite weapons in the offensive arsenal.
Right.
You're going to still have Evans. You're going to still have, obviously if Brady comes back, Gronk's probably back. That's probably a package deal situation. Godwin's probably back, maybe not full strength next year, but probably 80%. He's probably by midseason should be back playing a full load. I mean, so you're going to have players. Obviously you lost some stuff on the offensive line with Marpette retiring. You might lose Jensen, but there's still plenty of talent here. I'm gonna give you a name to be aware of, to think about it. The longer this extension doesn't happen, keep in mind Josh McDaniels and Derek Carr in Vegas. If they don't give him that extension, Brady and McDaniels, this could be something where come maybe June, July, or May or June, maybe the Bucs make a trade straight up Brady for Carr and throw in a draft pick, because then you can sign Carr. Carr would be a guy that would fit in this offense. He'd solve your quarterback problem. The longer he doesn't get an extension, the more that's still a possibility.
All right, I got to put you on hold a moment because we got a call coming in. Stand by. Anita, we got Jason Powers on the line here. We'll come out to you. Let me put you on hold. All right, sweetie?
Okay, babe.
Stand by. All right, we got a woman here calling the sports web, so we're not going to keep her waiting for long, which is interesting. I want to know what she's going to say here live on the Evolution of Sports Talk Television. With that being said, what did you think of the rumor Tom Brady and Sean Payton to the dumpster fire of the Miami Dolphins? In fact, this was a report that came out that once again, the Dolphins doing Dolphins things, basically kind of tampering supposedly with Sean Payton, although he was supposedly resigned at the time, and they were going to bring on Brady in some capacity as a minority owner. First and foremost, what are the Dolphins doing? When is the owner going to basically pass on the team to somebody else? And why would he think that Sean Payton or Tom Brady want to be a part of this complete disaster?
You got to remember, first and foremost, Peter, Stephen Ross is a Michigan guy.
Yes, I know that. Yes.
So there's obviously a connection with he and Brady. Who knows what their relationship is? Remember, Giselle, where does she love?
Well, Miami.
I mean, so there's a natural fit there as far as location. And again, like I've told you, you and I discussed this. Reason I don't think Tom Brady's going to play on the West Coast potentially would be his son.
Correct.
From his first relationship.
Correct.
Lives in New York City.
That was the main point of the reason why he went to the Bucs in the first place.
So I think staying on the East Coast, warm weather of Miami.
Yeah.
If he's not going to be in Tampa, maybe you go to Miami where Giselle wants to be. You know the owner well. Sean Payton, who they were very much in the mix for Tom Brady potentially. Our buddy Mike Neighbors told me if Drew Brees would have been retired 2 years ago, Tom Brady would have gone to New Orleans to play for Sean Payton.
Wow, that is a bombshell. I got to get him on sometime. We got Leo Haggerty calling in. Hold up, Leo. We'll get back to you in a moment. He's coming back from the Lightning game as the Lightning defeat the Ottawa Senators, so we'll get the latest from him. We'll be out there, the Sports Web, on Friday night. Covering the Red Wings. I've been mobile all week long, my friend. I'm going to be mobile with USF basketball, women's tomorrow night, men's on Thursday night, and the Lightning on Friday night here. So I tell you what, I'm getting a call right now from Leo. Let me go ahead, call back Jason. Let me see what's going on here, because when Leo tells me to call him, it may be something major here. So stand by. Call back in about 5 or 10 minutes. All right, Jason?
I'll see you in Kiev on the front. So you're sending me back to Russia on the front.
Will you shut up and be quiet? All right, Jason, hold up. All right, I'll give you a call back in a couple minutes when I'm seeing what's going on with Leo here. All right, stand by.
See you, buddy.
See you, buddy. All right, let me go out to Leo Haggerty here because he's saying call me. So that's what we do here on Amped Up Sports. Let's go out to Mr. Leo Haggerty, the legend himself, former coach, scout, and now media member of Night Sports Productions, and of course, Amped Up Sports. As the phone is ringing, we're producing on air right now on the Sports Web Live on I Love St. Pete and the Hub. I'm calling you, Leo. Are you there, Leo? He's not there.
What's up?
What's going on, buddy? Leo Haggerty here, former coach, scout, and now media member of Night Sports Productions after a big win by your Tampa Bay Lightning. Welcome to the Evolution, and I have a feeling you want to talk about that. What went on with the game tonight, my friend? Welcome to the Evolution.
Well, you know what, Peter? The first goal was a deflection. The second one either it went through McDonough or so close that Vasilevsky lost sight of it.
Mm-hmm.
But after that, 88 just shut the door.
How many saves did he have tonight, by the way?
22.
Wow. Once again, the Lightning doing work, and they're going to have to do some work because they have some back-to-backs coming up. In fact, they play on Thursday night, and they also play on Friday night. We'll be out there on Friday. Of course, Leo giving me the opportunity to cover for him as he takes his beautiful bride out for their anniversary. Happy anniversary, early anniversary on my father's birthday.
And guess where?
Yes.
Guess where I'm taking her?
Where are you taking her, Burns?
The Lightning game.
Oh, you're going to be there. Well, that's good.
I am going to be there.
That's awesome. Yes.
By the way, Peter, I got breaking news for everybody listening.
Yes.
Peter Blake will be live streaming the press conference after the game.
Oh, well, there you go, guys. So tune into the evolution of sports talk television because everybody goes, well, this is just a Bucs show. All you talk about is Bucs. You don't talk about the Tampa Bay Lightning. Yes, we do. We'll have the press conference for you. God, that's a terrible voice. But, you hear some of these trolls talk and it just, I talked about coming on. I hate Tuesdays, but for some reason, when I get on this mic and I get on this show and I got people like Denis Phillips and Jason Powers and Leo Haggerty telling me, hey, man, you get an opportunity to go cover USF basketball, not only men's but women's and also the Tampa Bay Lightning and live stream the press conference. I am so giddy at this point. Thank you very much for the breaking news. I appreciate it, my friend.
Well, yeah, I talked to Brian Burns and I said, hey, do you have a problem with it? They said, not a bit. So you are all set to go. And I'm hoping we can get that up and running along with USF. And I had the first question of everyone tonight, Corey Perry, Braden Point, and Coach Cooper.
Very nice. Very nice. I got to get my questions together. I got to get my thinking cap on because, it's so easy to sit back in the press box and say, I'm going to eat this and eat that and then watch the game and get lost in the game. And then you're like, you're brain dead at that point. So I got to get my questions together. I may text you afterwards and say, hey, what do you think I should ask Coach Cooper? I may even mention you during the press conference. I think he'll get a kick out of that.
Oh, yeah. Only if they win, though, Peter. If they lose, he gets a little surly.
Okay, well, then maybe I don't mention you after that. We won't do that. But what do you – I know you're at the Lightning game, but what do you make of the comments today coming out of this presser from Jason Light going all Motel 6 on everybody saying, hey, Tom Brady, we'll leave the light on for you. What do you say?
Oh, what is he going to say?
Right.
Again, I love these guys. When they ask a question, you know what the answer is going to be.
Right.
Hey, will you let Tom Brady back? Nah, not at all.
No, he's a terrible quarterback. We hate the guy. We had friction with him all year long. He's an awful human being. We don't want him on this team. I mean, come on. Of course they're going to say that. Now, BA said he basically slammed the door and said in so many words, he just wants to hear his name out there. So do you believe BA? I mean, do you take BA at his word that he slammed the door, that he's happy with retirement? Put a percentage on this, Leo Haggerty. How you think Brady is coming back or not?
You know what, Peter? It's like splitting deuces in a blackjack game.
Right.
Your odds aren't real good if you go down that road.
I'm telling you.
I think, Arians is taking the man at his word.
Right.
And let's see what happens. And they're planning to move on.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're planning to move on. Now, with that being said, I think a lot of Bucs fans' heads exploded today with I guess it was the whining and dining comments of Blaine Gabbert saying, we believe in Blaine Gabbert. This would be BA. I don't care about his record. He's had different head coaches and offensive coordinator. He's a gamer. I feel comfortable, even going as far as saying he was important, or I believe he said he was critical in Tom Brady's development. What do you make of that? I mean, is there a possibility that you don't find a trade partner and you go with the greatness of Blaine Gabbert and Kyle Trask?
And you know what, Peter? Arians had a great point. He said when Brady came in, Gabbert had all the answers.
It's true.
So he just had to go to him.
Right.
Which was fine. And again, we saw how Brady struggled at offense.
Right.
And that's one of the best ever to play that struggled. So,
sure.
yeah. The more I think about Blaine Gabbert, the more I'm thinking, you know what? You sign him, it's not going to cost you an arm and a leg, and you're going to have money now for Godwin. And I think that's the big thing. And, Arian said that today.
Yeah,
we've got to concentrate on Godwin.
Are you convinced? And I think, and I believe with, Arians commenting on Godwin, saying how important he is to the offense, comparing him to the likes of, Hines Ward, Larry Fitzgerald, and Reggie Wayne, pretty good company to be in. And he deserves it. The kid deserves it. 98 catches, of course, coming off the torn ACL. But he said, these players are getting healthier by the day, every year. It's getting better and better. I think I don't know if Godwin would want to come back here with Blaine Gabbert, but I tell you a name out there, and I've been throwing it out there all night, and I've been buying into it. Carson Wentz, 26 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. There's a possibility, and this is according to ESPN, Chris Mortensen saying the Colts will likely trade or release Wentz by March 18th. That's when Wentz's full $22 million base salary will be guaranteed. Basically, he'll cost $15 million in base salary, but they wouldn't owe the $13.29. So is there a distinct possibility that you think would Wentz work with BA? Do you think BA would like Wentz, the touchdown to interception ratio, big arm quarterback? He compared him to Andrew Luck. I mean, this is the possibility I could see the Bucs going. This is the direction right now. I could see them going.
I'd have no trouble with that because, Peter, before 2 years ago when the Eagles and that whole NFC East just imploded, Wentz carried that team to the playoffs.
Yeah.
And when they had to win, he was fine. It's like anything else, Peter.
Yeah.
You let a quarterback throw it where he wants to, when he wants to, and who he wants to, he's going to look good.
Now, we also heard a report today that JPP Sue want to come back for another year. No telling if they're going to play for the Bucs or not. We shall see. And then Gronkowski. Gronk has been spotted. This was said by BA today, working out twice a week at the facility. I mean, that doesn't sound like a guy that wants to retire. If you want to retire, you're sitting on your couch or you're vacationing and, hotter climates than Florida, although, Florida's a pretty hot climate, with your girlfriend. You're not working out twice a week at the facility. I see him coming back at this point.
Peter,
I think we lost Leo. Leo, you there?
Yeah, that's the big question mark. Is he coming back here?
Yeah, is he coming back here? Exactly. I think that's the big time question. We're only a couple weeks away. One more final question, and I'll get you out of here, my friend. Thanks a lot for coming on and giving us the lightning update for Amped Up Sports. What do you think of Major League Baseball? What have they done? I feel like this is just going to go downhill from here. No two series to start the season. You're going to cancel the first 2 weeks of the season. Your thoughts?
Peter, like that one sound effect you have. Blah, 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 blah. Peter, here's the problem with people. And I'm a victim of this too.
Yeah.
You lose 7, 8, 9 games. You're still playing 151.
Right. I mean, you're still getting money. You're still playing. And it almost seems like, the owners kind of want less games. And I'll tell you the truth. I think baseball really has to discuss the opportunity here, or the possibility, if you will, to lower it. And I think you look at the COVID season when you had 60 games, still a good season. I mean, of course, the record books will be changed, but there's nobody that's ever going to touch some of these records that are 162 in the first place. I get that. But I think eventually,
you know what, Peter, the biggest problem is, and how come no one is asking this, why they waited so long to start negotiating?
Yeah. Well, I've been asking the same thing. I mean, I'm talking about it. You hear reports of 8 to 15 hours negotiating. Leo, what are they talking about, my friend? Are they talking about what they're going to eat at the buffet? What are you drinking for breakfast? Orange juice or coffee? I disagree. I mean, what? I can't talk to somebody. I can't be on the sports web for 8 to 15 hours. I can't do it.
Without getting a result. That's
right.
The amazing thing.
Right.
Okay, it's almost like the owners don't want this to occur.
Right.
And that's the biggest problem right now.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, good stuff, my friend. Leo Haggerty on with us. Thanks a lot for coming on, and we'll see you tomorrow night at USF women's basketball. All right, my friend?
Absolutely. I'll meet you in the parking lot.
All right, sounds good. There you go. Leo Haggerty right there. Love that guy. Busy week for the Sports Web, and you heard the breaking news. We will be live streaming that press conference after the Lightning game. So there you go. Right there from the horse's mouth, if you will. Instead of the horse's ass. Right? I don't know. I told you it was Tuesday. All right, let's go out to the comments here. That's why I canceled my MLB TV subscription. Gonna be Traska, baby. Gonna be you, baby.
Shut up!
It's gonna be interesting to see what this team looks like the next season. Can't wait. Can't wait either. I can't wait either. And Eddie Slaughter says, I still owe you a haircut. Well, absolutely, Eddie. If you want to give me a haircut, you can absolutely do that. And look at this. Finally, this guy steps up. Let's go ahead and go out to him. Curtis from Newport Richie, welcome to the Evolution, my friend. What do you make of all these comments today from BA and Jason Light?
Yeah, I told you last week, bro. It's all smoke and mirrors.
Smoke and mirrors. So you're not buying Blaine, huh?
Hell no. Let me tell you something. There is no way in the hell that you have tasted victory and you're going to go back to being freaking mediocre. No way.
I mean, you don't believe in Blaine? You don't think Blaine Gabbert? I mean, I'm just paraphrasing here, but he was an important part to Tom Brady's development. I mean, he had all the answers to the test. He's been in the system for 5 years. No belief in Blaine Gabbert?
Well, you know what? Let me tell you something. You can know the system all you need to, but talent is talent. Okay?
Right. I agree.
Listen, I tell you what. That is as believable as the Paul brothers knocking out an actual boxer.
Well, wait a minute now.
Yeah, I said it.
Wait a minute now. Those are fighting words. Now you know that I can't. Look,
I know you love your bling bling brothers.
I do, and look, I can't hate on the guy when he's sending me a Rolex and his manager's calling my show. Which by the way,
hating.
I need
it's
to
not hating.
Right?
It's not hating. He just actually hasn't fought somebody with a boxing amateur background.
Well,
I mean,
Tyron Woodley.
Peter,
yes,
you could knock out Nate Robinson.
Yeah, easy now. I don't know. I don't know about that, my friend. I'm not a fighter. I'm a lover. I had somebody call in and she left me there, so I got to call her back after the show. So,
oh my goodness, she left you, brother?
Well, she didn't leave me. I mean, she called up and was trying to talk sports, and then I put her on hold, and then she was gone. So I thegot to get her back here after the show.
Well,
we'll see.
Well, you know what? I've loved and lost a couple times. Okay. There's always something better around the corner.
Oh, she's pretty special in my opinion. That's what I have to say.
Okay, well, that's all that matters. As long as she's special to you, that's all that matters.
Look, anybody who can watch my show and put up with my nonsense and then call it.
Whoa! You mean our nonsense? Because I'm pretty sure when you get Harry and Fat Mike and me.
Yes.
It is a great night.
All about the family, which I haven't seen any of these guys. I don't know what's going on here. I mean, it's just like, I feel like we should get Jason Powers on and we should sing Kumbaya to get everybody in the mood right now. I mean, I guess the State of the Union address was going on. Stan Arthur, thanks a lot for tuning in on I Love St. Pete. He said, I'd rather watch this show than the State of the Union. And I agree with you. Who wants to watch a damn State of the Union at this point?
Hey, I'd rather watch you than watch half of the crap that's on TV right now.
Goodness gracious! I mean, give me a TV contract if we have to watch
put Peter on FS1.
Yeah, I mean seriously, just shoot me at this point. If
they can give me a 10-day contract. Me and Harry and Fat Mike will make some appearances.
Let's do it. Let's all do it. Let's do it together. Let's all do it. I think Fat Mike, if he gets on there and starts doing his
no F-bombs, Mike.
Yeah, that would be tough for Fat Mike. Absolutely.
Yeah, I know. But anyway, going back to it, I mean, listen. I think like I told you last week.
Yeah.
I think VA and Jason Light are blowing smoke. Okay, because let me tell you something. The Glazers, the last time we won a Super Bowl, we had a freaking drought for almost 20 years. Even the playoffs. We didn't make the playoffs for 13 years.
Right.
We don't want to go back to that.
No.
And listen, let me tell you something. I hate to say this, but here's the truth.
Yes.
Would you and I want I would love for this to be your question of the night.
Go for it. Make it.
Would you give up 2 firsts or a first and a third and a fifth for somebody like Russell Wilson?
Yes, absolutely.
In a heartbeat.
In a heartbeat, I would absolutely give up those picks.
Because here's the thing. We already know that Russell is not happy.
Yep.
Pete Carroll is not going to be in Seattle as soon as Russell Wilson leaves.
Right.
Okay. I gotta change the subject real quick before I go back to Russell.
Yeah.
I cried when Ali Marpette retired the other day, but you gotta love that guy.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You have to love that guy. That guy came from a D3 school, and that guy was an All-Pro.
Right.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And he was the definition of showing what hard work in the NFL can make you be.
Correct.
So, Ali Marpette, I love you. You'll be a Buccaneer in my heart forever. And if you want to come back after a year of relaxing, we'll more than welcome you back.
Well, I agree with you on that. And you look again inside the numbers, you only gave up 1 sack in the 2 years that he protected Tom Brady, and the Bucs overall 43. So, for me, does that change your focus? And somebody's saying on here, I got to read this comment from Antonio. Thank you very much for tuning in, by the way. 806, they're out in Texas. Love that. Love when the sports web reaches out to other places besides the Tampa Bay area. There are whispers that Ryan Jensen, arguably the most sought after center on the market this offseason, could become a member of the Cincinnati Bengals. If you're the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, are you re-signing Ryan Jensen and Alex Kappa and Aaron Stenny, or are you focusing?
Ain't none of them 3 MFers going nowhere.
Nowhere. What if you lose it? What if you lose
because
Jensen?
Here's the thing.
What if you lose
Here's
Jensen?
the thing.
Okay.
That offensive line is what's going to attract somebody like Russell Wilson.
Correct.
Or, I'm going to throw it up in the air, Deshaun Watson, or that offensive line is what's going to attract anybody to come to Tampa.
Right.
On top of throwing the ball to Evans and Godwin and whoever else.
Correct. Absolutely. I agree with you on that. And I think the offensive line is important to this team. And I've said it before, and I'll keep on saying it again. In the National Football League, in any football, at the end of the day, your team is built between the lines. Defensive line, offensive line. If you don't have that, you're not going to work. I don't care how many skill positions. So I'm kind of wondering, with the surprise of the Marpette retirement, does that shift more focus to getting a Ryan Jensen signed off?
Okay, how much was Marpette making a year, roughly?
Well, $10 million, but the Bucs are not going to have to pay that on that.
So what you're looking at is you're not going to have to pay Brady $25 million.
Right. Well, they got some slack on this, like 9 million and 9 million next year. So they got some break on that.
Yep. So you're not going to have to pay Gronk $10 million.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to have to pay.
Well, I think Gronk could come back. Honestly, I do. I think he could come back.
I think he loves Florida.
I do too. I mean, look, if you're retiring, does it make any sense for you to be working out at the facility twice a week?
Well, I tell you what. I would love to keep Gronk because that way, and I really hate to say this, OJ Howard can walk.
Well, OJ Howard needs to walk. I mean, I hate to say it, I'm not an OJ Howard fan, but I love the guy's potential. I just think either the injury doesn't work in this offense, and I hate to say it, but I think he's going to go somewhere else, and he may flourish because he'll finally get that opportunity. But I don't know.
I think because of his injury, Godwin is going to end up staying in Tampa, and he's going to take about 14-15 million a year.
Okay. Now the projected is 17.5. So we'll see how that works.
But also Godwin is not going to want to be overpaid to pay for a bad team.
Correct.
Okay. Carlton Davis, he'll get between 5 and 10 million a year, easy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this cap could look better than what people are thinking.
Well, that's what I've said too, and that's what everybody's saying. The sky is falling. The cap is not going to be that great. Let those mathematicians out there work on that. I didn't do well in math.
Did we not fit everybody up under the cap last year?
You did.
And the cap, excuse my French, was shit.
It was. It absolutely was. And guess what? It's going to explode next year. So throw the money down the road next year and make it work somehow. And I think Jason Light, Mike Greenberg, and everybody associated with the Tampa Bay Buccaneer organization has done an instrumental job of making that cap and manipulating that cap to a certain degree. Have they not?
Of course. Well, let's say this.
Yeah.
We don't know what's going to happen with Sue.
We don't, but what we find out is he wants to play another year. Now, is that with the Bucs? Depending on his price, and he's still playing at somewhat of a high level.
And like I said, we had this conversation.
Mm-hmm.
He just got married.
Yeah,
and he just had twin boys or twins.
Right.
Happy wife, happy life. You think his wife is going to want to continue to relocate?
Well, I agree.
What's better? And I'm sorry. What's better than Florida? You got Miami. You got it's like Warren Sapp told Keyshawn Johnson. We got Disney up the road. We got all the fishing you want. We got Miami. What are you missing?
What are you missing? And he got no taxes. He got no taxes. He got beautiful weather all year around. I mean, everybody's saying it's hurricanes all. No, there's not. There's not hurricanes all every season. It's hot out.
No. This JPP. I don't know what's going to happen with him.
Yeah.
I would love for him to come back, but he needs to come back on a veteran deal.
Well, he may come back on a veteran deal, but you got to see what his health is, right? Because he's still dealing with that shoulder injury.
And that's another conversation we had. I'd like to see him as a situational pass rusher.
Well, I mean, I certainly think that's possible. And from the comments today, and I definitely want to hit on this, Joe Tryon Shayenka, and it was brought out by Jason Light, says, look, he's going to be, and I think it was also BA that said this, that, look, he's going to be a great pass rusher on the outside, but he's got to improve his technique inside when playing the run. And that was the thing you saw. And maybe that's the reason why he didn't get a lot of snaps last year, because he's not able to play the run. Remember,
he was raw.
Yeah.
He was really raw.
Correct. There you go.
He got drafted for his potential.
Sure.
And his potential is through the roof.
Yep.
Okay. He was a steal at 32. He really was.
Yeah. He really was. He was a steal.
His raw talent, if he gets in the gym and he gets in and he busts his ass and he learns from JPP and he learns from Shaq and he learns from Golston and Sue and all those guys, he'll be okay.
Agree. I absolutely agree. I don't think this team is as bad. And even BA mentioned this today. Nobody talks about this Bucs defense. And look, I get it, the reason why they're not. But if you look at it, they only played one game together, fully healthy, and that last game against the Rams was the first time besides the first game.
Since week one.
Right. I mean, so what do we know at this point about this defense? Not enough.
This is what I also want my Bucs fans to pay attention to.
Yeah.
Stop freaking paying attention to ESPN and NFL Network, because all you keep hearing is, what are the Bucs going to do without Brady?
Yeah.
What are the Bucs going to do without Brady?
Right.
What are the Bucs going to do now?
Right.
Our division could possibly be worse than the NFC East next year.
Oh, I agree with you on that. I don't see, and BA was talking about this again. He didn't even mention Carolina, but he said, the Saints still have a defense. Yes, they do, but they don't have a quarterback, and they may have a problem at running back with Alvin Kamara and his possible suspension from the National Football League and Roger Goodell. We all know and know how much Roger loves when players act up during the off season. He just loves to suspend those players for a long term.
And I'm sorry, Michael Thomas hasn't played in like 2 years. Where has that guy been?
Well, Slant Boy has not played in 2 years because he's a Slant Boy, and he took less money to free up cap. We'll see what he does. You don't have a quarterback. Taysom Hill is your quarterback right now.
You know what it is.
What is it?
With Michael Thomas, he's got the Keyshawn Johnson attitude.
Oh, does he?
He has the Keyshawn Johnson.
Give me the damn ball.
Yep.
Yeah.
And when he's not getting the ball, he's a crybaby.
Oh, yeah. Agree.
Because I'm pretty sure the last time he did play, and he was matched up with Carlton Davis. Carlton Davis put his ass on ice the whole game.
He did. You're absolutely right.
I think he had 1 catch for 6 yards.
Yep.
This guy's supposed to be I'm always open, Michael Thomas. No, you were on ice, Michael Thomas, that day.
Yep. And that's the reason why you sign a Carlton Davis, because say whatever you want to about Davis's injury history throughout the years and last year, but he is very close to being a shutdown corner. Some of the games he's played against top wide receivers. And look, you're going to have to make a decision. You're either going to pay him long-term, you're going to franchise him, and it just depends on and just listening to what the Bucs are saying. And again, take it for what it's worth of what BA and Jason Light said, but the emphasis clearly was on getting Chris Godwin signed and another guy that you're going to be surprised with. I'm going to go ahead and play that soundbite later. And also, I think BA kind of gave away what the Bucs may be looking at when it comes to drafting somebody. So stay tuned for that. What else?
I need.
Yes.
I'm going to tell you what we need.
What we need?
We need to figure out what we're going to do with our quarterback situation. I don't care if it's Blaine Gabbert or Trask or whoever.
You're like Carson Wentz? You know, because my mom is tuning in right now, and we still have this debate. I mean, it's just a beautiful thing. I mean, anytime you can have a debate with somebody, a family member, and she's like, I'm telling you, it's Kyle Trask. And I'm like, no, it's not. She's saying it is.
Let me talk directly.
Be nice. Now be nice.
I'm going to be very nice.
Be nice to my mom.
Mom.
Yes.
I love you.
Yes.
Peter is like a brother to me, but I do not want Carson Wentz on this team.
Wait, not Carson Wentz. He says Trask.
You know what? I don't mind giving the kid. I tell you what, I don't mind giving him a chance. We gave Chris Sims a chance.
Wait a minute. You're supposed to be on my side. Now.
I mean, but I understand. Pete,
I don't mind Carson Wentz. I don't know why everybody's so down on Carson Wentz. First and foremost, let me convince you real quick. Look at his touchdown to interception ratio, 26-7. I get it. He gets hurt a lot. He's a second overall pick. You may be able to get him for absolutely nothing if he gets cut. You're going to have to pay him. And then on top of it, he's the guy that can throw the ball down the field. I mean, it makes sense. As crazy as it sounds.
Okay, answer this question.
Yes.
Would you rather have him or Jared Goff?
Him all day long over Jared Goff. Come on.
Okay.
Jared Goff's garbage. I got a Lions fan who wants to trade me him every day. I talk to him. Do you want Jared Goff? No, hell no. Even if I were the general manager, I would not want Jared Goff.
I wouldn't. I'm going to say this. And in my agreement, I would take Wentz because he's veteran. He's played a lot.
Correct.
I would take him over Gabbert any day.
I agree with that. I mean,
now,
yeah.
This kid Trask, I don't know. I don't know. I mean,
I
would love to see him.
But can you afford to see? You know what I'm saying? Like, this could be the last year of BA's coaching career. This could be the last year you have an opportunity to not only win this division, but possibly, depending on the quarterback you get, as crazy as it sounds. And I know people call me crazy all the time. It's okay. I'm used to it. It goes without saying. All the years of stress, whether it's relationships with people or relationships on talking to people on the phone. They could be a Super Bowl contender if you get the right quarterback, as we talked about tonight. You got to really wait and see and take the opportunity. You want to see if Kyle Trask is ready and let him go through those bumps in the road. I mean, we've seen this organization and their failure and to develop a young quarterback. What's going to change? BA? Maybe. Leftwich, yeah. I mean,
I'm going to tell you something, Pete, and this is the God on the truth. I need somebody to interview this kid. I want to see what he sounds like. I want to see the look in his eye. That's what I want to see.
Well, look, I'll tell you right now, if you're going to go with Trask and you're going to wait and see, you're going to sign Gabbert. Gabbert's going to play, and when Gabbert fails, that's when you're going to see Trask. Yep. It makes no sense to me. Like, I'm trying to figure this out, and I kind of think they may go with that. As crazy as that sounds, they may go with Gabbert and Trask.
Can we get Philip Rivers for 1 year?
Yeah, I'm telling you, 2 years removed from that quarterback derby, and you have BA saying, there's nobody behind door number 2. It takes 2 to tango when it comes to, and look, teams are not willing to trade quarterbacks at this point, right?
I tell you what, right now, if the Dolphins still want to trade Tua, I'll take Tua.
I don't know about, I don't know.
You know what?
I don't know, man.
I did not like Tua. I did not like Tua at all.
I don't know.
I still kind of don't like Tua, but I'm going to tell you something.
Yeah.
Despite everything that went on in Miami,
still won.
That kid went out there. He played his fucking ass. Excuse my French.
It's all right.
He played his ass off.
We speak French
and
on
he
this show.
showed you that he could win.
I agree. I completely agree. And it's also because of good coaching and that dumpster fire of an organization named the Miami Dolphins with their owner who is, I don't know.
And I watched a couple Dolphins games, especially when they were on that winning streak.
Yeah.
That kid, Jalen Waddle, he was throwing the ball to. Dude, Tua can throw the ball down the field.
Throw the ball down the field. It's never been a
question. He can throw the ball down the field.
The question is, can he be consistent enough and can he stay healthy? If he can stay healthy, and that is the biggest red flag.
That's the same question we have
about Carson Wentz. Exactly.
Because see, here's the thing about Tua.
Yep.
Tua is 22, 23, 24 years old.
Yeah. Young, very young quarterback.
Carson Wentz. Hey, me and you are probably 10, 20 years older than Carson Wentz, and we got a better back than him right now.
Well, I don't know about that, my friend. I've been carrying some people for years. Oh, I'm just kidding. No, I don't got a good back, and that's from years of weightlifting, trying to squat 315. Not a good idea, kids. If you're going to do it, do it for as much as you can. Don't try to overdo it. There you go.
This is probably going to be one of the most interesting seasons in Buccaneer history.
It really is. And I'm surprised we don't have more people. And I guess the State of the Union address is going on, and there's other platforms out there hitting it. And I get it. I think they do a hell of a job. But I would expect there's gonna be a lot of interest here. And I think there was a lot of interest a couple years ago, but it was kind of sullied, if you will, because there was a pandemic going on. I don't think there's still a pandemic going on now. We're not closing everything down. You're able to watch sports at this point. I get it. March Madness is coming up, but when free agency is in full bloom, there's absolutely some rumors and stuff flying out there.
What does Arizona want for Kyler Murray?
I think Kyler Murray wants a contract extension, and if he doesn't get it, then you start to hear more rumblings of trades. I don't know about this kid.
You don't think he deserves it?
Absolutely. Well,
I mean,
here's
the thing.
Look,
he's inconsistent.
Right.
He's inconsistent.
Right.
He's very inconsistent.
Right.
But that offensive line in Arizona sucks too.
Well, it does suck. You're absolutely right. It sucks hard, and it's not good at all. It's awful. No.
I mean, with him, he was basically throwing the ball up to Zach Ertz, AJ Green, and DeAndre Hopkins every time.
I mean, there's some good weapons out there, but you're exactly right. No running game, no offensive line. But some of the things that have come out, I mean, aren't those red flags to you? Immaturity, not taking, and he certainly kind of looks. He sounds like he's a little bit immature at this point.
Well, but you know why, right?
Well, because he's not getting what he wants.
Well, not only that, but he doesn't need football. He can go play baseball tomorrow.
Well, that's the thing, but you can't play baseball now because now we're in a lockout for the next 2 series here. Great job, Major League Baseball. You guys are awesome.
Yeah, you guys are
shut up, idiots.
You make me sick to my
yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
You know what?
Yes.
Just what, dude? You're already a billionaire. Why you got to be so greedy?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I'll never be able to identify with that. I mean, I guess we can all identify. We want to get our value at the end of the day. But honestly, if you're spending 8 to 15 hours of talking to somebody and you're not getting anything done, then what the hell are you guys talking about?
Listen, there's only a couple of people that I want to talk for 8 to 15 hours. And I don't know if I want to talk to them that long in a row.
I don't think I spend 8 to 15 hours talking to anybody besides on my job. And you know what we got to say about that?
I think I think if me, you, and Harry and Fat Mike got together, we could run our mouths for probably 8 hours.
We probably could.
We have to get Powers in.
Yeah.
We'd have to get your old co-host.
He's old right now. He's definitely old. Sean the Sports Don, who has been missing in action. Where are you at, Sean?
Hey, and we need JC Allen too.
Oh yeah, we definitely need JC because JC can talk.
Yeah. Oh my God.
JC can talk for hours. I mean,
yes, he can.
He'll ask him a question and he'll be like, I'm like, damn, man, that was great. I love JC Allen of Pewter Report. You guys are killing it over there. Yeah,
of course. Hey, and God, there's one more person I was going to say. I need the guy from ABC News.
Oh, Dennis Phillips.
I need Dennis Phillips.
Yeah, we can get him on here. We can have a whole, just I don't know, guess like 6 to 8 people on the screen at the same time. Everybody can just talking.
Hey, you know what? We need to try to get everybody together for free agency.
That's what we need to do. I need to do a 8-camera shot. That's what we need to do at this point. Yep. All right, Curtis. Good stuff as always, man. Thanks a lot for coming on the Evolution. Brother. All right. Good stuff there. Brother. Let me give you the woo right there. Woo! Let me give you the Byron Leftwich.
How about them Bucs, baby?
Thanks a lot for the call, my friend. All right.
All right, bro.
All right. Good stuff there. Let me read the rest of these comments and then we'll get out of here. Going back to it, we'll see because, of course, they want to protect Joe Burrow. So that has definitely been talked about. I think more than anything else, you're going to be wanting to look at an Alex Kappa because he's a younger option. And that has been my point. Now with the Ali Marpette retirement, do you shift focus to sign an Alex Kappa and an Aaron Stinney and let a Ryan Jensen go, or do you sign both? Let's see here. Watching the best sports talk show in the Tampa Bay area, the Sports Web with Amped Up Sports. I love St. Pete and Bet US, absolutely, and the Hub, absolutely. I need to get a drink here. Maybe I'll take a little break here. I'll tell you what. Let's go ahead and go out to this really quick. Bet US promo code TSW22 if you're betting on sports. Definitely get over there, put in that code or call that number 1-800-69-BET-US. Again, 1-800-69-BET-US. 125% sign up bonus. Promo code TSW22. Let's go out to Mike Tackett. MLB lockdown is the best thing to happen to the USFL. Also, I believe the Tampa Bay Bandits are the favorite to win the USFL. Jordan Tiamu is definitely a league MVP candidate. Absolutely has the potential to do that. Good stuff, Mike. And I think we're definitely going to be more interested in the USFL. We also have some other leagues out there to be interested in. The XFL next year. We had the owner of the Tampa Bay Inferno last night out of the Women's Football Alliance, which we're going to go ahead and check out. So yes, all these football leagues, especially the USFL, is absolutely going to benefit from Major League Baseball doing what they always do, and that's twiddle their thumbs. All right. Christopher Cole says draft show. We have talked. I don't know if it's been 8 hours, but probably could get everybody on for that draft show. We'll see what happens. Good idea, Mr. Christopher Cole. Speaking of the draft, I tell you what, let's go out to BA giving away. Well, I tell you what. Yeah, let's go out to BA giving away possibly what the Bucs could be considering here. Write this down because it's not what you think here on the Evolution of Sports Talk Television. Here's this presser from the Combine today on what the Bucs could be needing on that defensive line. You may be surprised. Here we go.
Yeah, I mean, for us right now, it's quickness. We've got strength. We've got plenty of strength. We need some quickness, some interior pass rush. We've got a good outside pass rush. So for us, it's watching these guys and seeing who's inside interior pass rush, but still stout enough to stop the run. But, we don't need another Vita. There's not another one out there anyway, but we need something. And if we get our guys back, I'm fine too, but something quicker in there.
All right, something quicker in there. So a defensive tackle, maybe the first round, maybe a quick defensive tackle. Just saying that possibly could happen. Maybe he gave it away. You also heard Jason Light in this presser today talk about corners and safeties, not necessarily the top end, but more depth purposes. And, you know, that a lot of people will point out there, one of my good buddies by the name of Misador didn't like the Kyle Trask pick second round. He wanted to draft a corner. This may be the year you go into that and draft a corner. You may need to draft a corner. You know why? Because Jamel Dean and Sean Murphy-Bunting are up for free agency next year. So, and then the injury situation with all those players having some injury history. So you may go into this draft drafting a corner in the later rounds. And Jason Light pointed that out with the depth. He also pointed out this player, which we have not talked about on this show at all, which is kind of surprising. But we probably need to talk about him because he could be a big signing according to Jason Light. Here we go.
He's one of those players I mentioned. I didn't want to mention any by name because I didn't want to leave any out. But Jordan has become a very good player for us. And just his presence on defense when we didn't have him due to injury, you could see what we were missing, a little bit of juice and from him, and he provided that. He's been a good player for us. He's been a great pick for us. I'm proud of our staff for where we drafted him and what he's become. And ideally, he's another player. I'll keep saying it. Ideally, I'd love to have him back, but we'll have to see how it goes with all these players.
Yeah, exactly. And that was the focus today. And that's the key word that Light was saying in his presser. We've got to see if we can bring some of these players back. We'd like to bring the core players back. And there he was talking about Jordan Whitehead. And you could see in some games, Whitehead really stepping up, being all over the field, making plays, being that playmaker. Remember, he was a 4th or 5th round pick. And the way he was playing this year, he said it himself. Juice. There was juice to that secondary. So once again, the Bucs have some big time decisions to make when it comes to free agency. It's not just the offensive line, but it's, do you bring back a Carlton Davis? Do you bring back a Jordan Whitehead? Do you bring back a Will Golston, who nobody has talked about, but is an integral part to this defensive line? The Ndamukong Suh, JPP. You know me. I mean, I'm just saying, if these players want to come back, they're not going to come back for free. They're not. So lots of decisions you're going to have to make with this Tampa Bay organization. Once again, I was shouting out Stan Author. Thank you very much from I Love St. Pete, saying you would rather watch this show than the State of the Union. Appreciate that. Lisa Vasquez, thank you very much for the support of the Sports Web. I tell you what, really quick, we're going to call back this guy because he said that I treat him like he's on the front lines. So let's call back Mr. Jason Powers. Let's get his final thoughts, and then we'll get him out of here, and we'll wrap it up for the night. Pleasantly surprised, but I knew we could go over 2-hour show with all this content talking about Bucs football. And look at this. He's not going to even answer. Look at this. Look at this guy. Big time to me. Jason Powers, what are you doing?
Yeah, baby.
All right, you know what? We're going to leave him a nice message. You ready? Here goes. This is what we do. This is the difference between the.
You've reached Jason Powers.
Yes.
With Titan Home Lending. If you leave your name,
Titan
number, and time you call,
Lending.
I'll get back with you as soon as I can. Have a great day.
All right. Let's see here. Let's let him a good message. Jason Powers, this is your favorite sports talk show host, Peter Blake of the Sports Web, calling you back. Trying not to, treat you like the little sister of the poor to get you on the Evolution, leaving you a message. Call back, my friend. Thanks a lot for your time tonight on the Evolution of Sports Talk Television. There you go. That's how you leave a message. I don't know if it was a good message, but it was a message no less. All right. With that being said, let's go ahead and wrap it up here with that good stuff, as always, from Denis Phillips of ABC Action News. Of course, we had Jason Powers on Sports Podcast, Leo Haggerty with his news for the night. Of course, catch us tomorrow. We'll be out at USF women's basketball. Thursday night, USF men's basketball at the Yinling Center, of course, for both of those days or nights. And then Friday night, we'll be covering the Tampa Bay Lightning versus the Detroit Red Wings and live streaming John Cooper's post-conference. So there you go. That's it for the night. All this Bucs content you'll be able to like and subscribe to on the Sports Web on YouTube. Go to the Hub. Go to I Love St. Pete. And, of course, Amped Up Sports. Very excited to be a part of that platform at this point because we're getting opportunities to make the evolution of sports talk television mobile. And that's what we want to do. We want to evolve. We want to progress, not regress. 3 things to wrap it up on your Tuesday night. Bring your passion, bring your excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense. I'm your host, Peter Blake. Have a great night, and we'll see you on the evolution of Sports Talk Television.
Stan Arthur here for the I Love St. Pete Facebook group. If you're a business owner looking to connect with tens of thousands of potential new local customers, you owe it to yourself to get enrolled in our Key Tag Rewards program. Since 2019, we've signed up more than 200 local merchants. Sponsor opportunities are available too, such as our group banner ad and even your own custom key tags. Just go to stpetekeytag.com, get enrolled, and get ready to get busy. stpetekeytag.com.
Yeah, every year presents different challenges, and you have to keep the cap in mind, obviously, that we're all up against. You don't want to mortgage too much of the future, and you want to remain competitive as long as you can. So I think ideally we'd like to keep the core players that we have, the very good players that we have, and they're all very good. And I don't want to name players because I don't want to leave any out, because they're all in one way, shape, or form a priority. But you want to try to keep as many as you can, and you want to keep the pipeline coming from the players that we already have and give them opportunities. So one door closes, another one opens, and so we feel like we have some players that could surprise some people next year if they're given the opportunity.